Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 106th Comic Art Fans Update. I hope everybody's doing well. And you're all in the chat as always. Tyler and Hobby and Mikhail and Peter, Jeff. Man, everybody's here hanging out. Mr. Red Jack, David. I could go on and on and on. But yeah, welcome to another Thursday evening here in Northeast Ohio. Probably not too many of these left. I think we've probably got I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks left here. We'll see. It may not even be that long. But Maureen and I have, and the kids have bust our rear ends the last week. I mean, ever since we got back from San Diego, I've pretty much spent every moment that wasn't involved with a live stream focused on packing up the house and getting it ready to show. We finally got it on the market officially yesterday morning, so that was good. But it was a monumental achievement. I mean, the garage is full of boxes, so almost practically it's like when we're ready to go, I just have to back the U-Haul up to the garage and it'll be easy to pack it. So but yeah, boy, I'm telling you, we are not moving from that house in Florida without well, I'll be in the ground when that happens. I'm never going through this again. But it's been good. It was great exercise. Look, I even found well, this thing has always been like covered in dust in the kids' office. They never use it for anything. I bought it a long time ago. Another eBay purchase. So a Sonic board that says like coming soon. It's got a dry erase board. So a lot, you can write some fun stuff on there. So I don't know if I'll use that down in Florida, but I just thought it'd be funny to plug in here a little bit of neon, add some color to the background. So lots of stuff to go over tonight. I mean, but it should be an interesting show. I've got Derek Crabb in the green room right now. We're going to talk about a recent art haul of his, and we're going to show off the artwork from that haul, and also talk about how he came about picking up all that artwork. And I've got a couple flips to go through today. After that, I don't have any. So if any of you are thinking about doing a flip and you haven't put one together yet, I'm going to need them for next week because I'm going to do these two today. As you know, we did two last week as well. So I don't like to kind of keep them in the can for too long. So you guys are putting a lot of effort into these, so I don't like sitting on them for very long. I thought about extending one until next week, but that wouldn't be fair. So let's go ahead and get the show started here. I've got Derek all set in the green room here, so I'm going to bring him into the chat. Hey, Derek. How are you doing
how's
this
it going,
evening?
Bill? Good. How are you?
It's going pretty good. Like I say, I've been pretty wiped out. The night before the house went on the market, I was up till almost 3:00. I just couldn't. I'm running around. I'm thinking oh gosh, we're going to get people that are going to be walking through the house at 10 a.m. and I better just make sure every single thing is perfect. And then we didn't have anybody come through until 5. So I could have gone to sleep normally and worked in the morning, but instead I killed myself just to kind of get the place ready. But whatever, it'll be nice when it's all over. But how are you? I haven't seen you since the Hero Show.
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Like we were talking, it's fun to get to hang out with people and show off your portfolios and all that kind of stuff, whether it's at Heroes Con or just smaller meetups and everything. And I know a lot of people have been getting together and doing that. So I guess for this, like I'm trying to contain myself, but I am like super duper excited about what I picked up. And I guess if people hadn't noticed, I think you have, but if you saw I think it was my second weekly flip. I think most people probably figured out that I like Maxima. But in case you're not convinced that I like Maxima, I have some props. This is a custom DCUC action figure of Maxima. So I commissioned this like a long time ago. So in case that doesn't convince you. And then some of the art I'm going to be showing tonight inspired this 1992 Derek Crabb piece. And you could tell, like, clearly I liked Maxima. And so I just wanted to show that off. But basically, what the art is from tonight is Adventures of Superman Annual 3. And before I forget, like, the big obvious thanks goes to Brian Hitch for working with me and facilitating the pages that I was able to get from it. But I also wanted to thank two people, which I don't think this could have happened without either of them. And the first person is Mikhail. because he was the one who sort of, back when we had those collectors conversations, it
Mhm.
was way, way long ago in the collectors conversations days. He planted the idea in my head because I always kind of thought, well, if Brian Hitch has these pages, maybe one day he'll post them on his site, or maybe I'll see them, at a dealer's site or something like that. And I never really had the forethought to maybe just, ask, like, do you still have any pages from this
Sure.
annual? And so he kind of planted that idea in my head. And I did email him back around that time frame. And I got an immediate response, which was, I think I have some pages still. They're in the attic. I'm going to be cleaning up the attic, and let me get back to you. And some time passed, and I kind of, I guess, gave up on it. Like, I kind of thought, oh, I haven't heard anything. Maybe that means those pages don't exist. Or, I think most people that collect art kind of know how that goes. You kind of get excited, and then, maybe some things kind of fade away. And I was going to say the second person I need to thank is yourself, because I kind of get these ideas either when I'm watching the channel or kind of when I'm scrolling around CAF. But the thought I got was, some time had passed, and I guess in between that time, there was a drop with one page from that annual, which I was able to get from Brit Comics,
Mhm.
and there was a Comic Connect auction that I won with a second page from that issue. And I would see periodically Brian Hitch would update his calf and post like, hey, I've got a new Venom
Yeah.
cover, I've got this and that and the other thing. And I just thought to myself, you know what? It's like 3 minutes after he posted this Venom cover. I know he's around. Like, maybe I'll just reach out to him on CAF. And so I sent him a message on CAF and kind of went, hey, do you remember me? Like, I asked about those pages, and you said maybe there'd be some pages in the attic, and I never heard anything back. Like, are they gone forever, or do you have some? And so he did get back to me, and it turned out there were 22 pages. And then I basically was like, I will take all of them, please. And so basically, I guess I wanted to thank you particularly, Bill, and I figured the best way to thank you would be to sort of hold off on posting them to CAF and just reach out to you like this, and kind of, I know you were always interested in, having
Yeah, no,
people
I
kind
enjoy
of,
doing these.
yeah, reveal their new art stash or something that was never before seen. So as far as I know, these have been in an attic since they were made, and I did some quick scans and put them all together. So it's an annual. The annual is 56 pages. So combined with the two I already have, that makes for 24 pages of a 56-page annual. So I've got 32 left. 11 of them have Maxima in them that I don't have. So if anybody comes across those, totally interested. But yeah, so that's, I mean, basically that's the story. And if people want to know about the pages as they're sort of scrolling along, I could kind of give some details about kind of what's going on, or what the whole storyline is about and things like that. But that's pretty much the story.
All right. Well, let me queue up the slides here that I've got, and I believe I've got them all in here. So let's go ahead and just pull them up, and we can talk about them.
Yeah, so this is page 4, so it's early on. I think the time frame of this is Clark Kent has already proposed to Lois Lane, but she doesn't know he's Superman yet, and he's kind of thinking to himself what it's going to be like to be married to Lois, and maybe what it'd be like to have kids with her and all this kind of stuff. And if anyone's ever followed the Armageddon 2001 storyline, this was part of a whole line of annuals where the character Wave Rider, his name's Matthew Ryder, and there's a future where basically this kind of Doctor Doom-esque guy in a suit of armor is basically ruling the world. He's eradicated the world of all the world's superheroes, and the twist is the reason why he was so easily able to do that in the far-flung year of 2001 was because he himself was a superhero, so he knew all their secrets. And so the basic premise of Armageddon 2001 is, in all the DC annuals, Wave Rider would show up. He'd make contact like he is in this bottom, the last panel here. He'd touch the hero and try to see a possible future that they'd have and try to unlock to see, is Superman going to become Monarch? And invariably, most of these are DC heroes, so they don't turn out to be the villain. But and of course, Superman had like 3 titles, and Batman had 2 titles. So there was this kind of cockamamie thing of oh, Wave Rider touched Batman once, and it kind of changed his future. So he's got to touch him one more time just to be sure. And of course, they had to touch Superman 3 times because he had 3 annuals. But basically, what you got were a bunch of what if stories, like what if this happened to Superman? The first one I think was kind of like a take on Dark Knight Returns, where Superman kind of becomes more of a world power, and that brings him into conflict with Batman. And I think Batman has to use a kryptonite ring on him or some such. I think the second one, Superman becomes president of the United States and ends up getting a Green Lantern ring. And I've got a couple pages from that, and that was by Tom Grummett. And then this one is by Brian Hitch and a litany of different inkers. And basically, this kind of goes into Maxima, who at the time was basically, I guess you could keep flipping the pages, but eventually we'll get to Maxima. But the whole inciting incident that leads Superman to go into space and reconnect with Maxima is, in this storyline, it's kind of like, if you've ever seen that scene from Mallrats where Brody explains, like, he's talking to his buddy and he says, well, why can't Lois have Superman's baby? And he goes into the whole diatribe of, do you think, her uterus is strong enough to handle like Superman? Like the kid will kick through her stomach if she gets a suntan. And I always feel like either Walt Flanagan had this issue or Kevin Smith read this issue, because basically what happens in this is Superman in this future that Wave Rider sees, he basically touches Clark Kent and finds out that he does marry Lois, and Lois does have a kid, and the kid basically kills Lois. And so he feels all guilty about that and exiles himself into outer space. And that's where he comes into contact with Maxima again, who basically is like Red Sonja in space. And she was always angry with Superman for spurning her affections. But this was kind of a unique opportunity, if you liked Maxima as much as I did, for those two characters to connect. I guess the kids call it shipping these days.
That's
so
right.
If you ship Maxima and Superman, this is the shipper special annual of Superman and Maxima, because it kind of goes through how they sort of connect in this alternate future and everything. I guess here, like, Superman's been involved in this big battle, and she's actually sort of rescuing him and everything. This is like a later page in the book. Like I said, some of these, it's not, like I said, the entire issue. It kind of gets a little spotty depending on, what pages I have and everything. It's funny, now I don't even know what page is next, so I don't know where to go after this. But
right. So I've got them in, at least I think I've got them in the right order here.
I just put them in order of from earliest to the latest, or what.
So you were saying that this annual had a lot of different inkers, so that's going to certainly make it a lot more challenging to put the whole book together.
Yeah, because I think part of it was Brian Hitch inked a lot of these pages himself. So the majority of the pages that I was able to get from Brian were the pages he inked himself. But then something interesting I noticed, which I don't know if this was common practice or not. I know usually those pages that were inked by different folks, they would get distributed among the different artists. But what I noticed was on the back of some of the pages, it would say, whoever name is not circled gets the page. So if it was, Dick Giordano or Nick Napolitano, like if one name was not circled, which in the case of my pages, Brian Hitch's name was the one not circled, then he would get the page. And I assume if Brian Hitch's name was circled on other pages out there, then the inkers would get those pages returned to him.
Sure.
Or them. And I guess here Maxima's just kind of regaling Superman with tales of her childhood. And of course they come from different worlds. So he's talking about how he's raised by Ma and Pa Kent, and that it was, more of a positive upbringing, whereas I guess Maxima, learned quickly, like, I guess she's royalty, and also they, the idea that she was, physically punished early on, and that, there's a lot of aggression within her. So they do sort of come from two different backgrounds. So I guess it's that weird notion of, maybe, Superman will quote unquote fix her or make her see like the era of her ways, where she's not quite, all sunshine and roses, basically. So they're kind of trying to establish that. I guess this is technically a rival for Maxima's affections. This guy's name is Decene. On the animated series, he looked kind of more like a normal dude that just kind of had armor and a sword. But in this, he's a little more Mojo-esque. He's kind of got all these spider legs and multiple arms, and just looks really almost, Baron Harkonnen slobby and creepy and everything. So you're supposed to get the idea like, Maxima's basically like, oh, they want me to marry this guy. And it's all about sort of, I guess, royal alliances and political, mergers and associations and everything. But Superman getting thrown into the mix kind of throws a monkey wrench, and everybody kind of knows that Maxima is sweet on Superman, and he's there as her friend currently, and he's basically stopped all these incursions from attacking her home planet Almerac. So a lot of people respect Kal-El at this point, but they, there is obviously Decene's the villain, so he's plotting against Superman and Maxima from behind the scenes. Yeah. Oranga said the little Cameron Hodge. Yeah, totally. Like all those kind of, or even like, what is it, like Reanimator and From Beyond, like with the stretchy face and everything. Like there's all that kind of distorted. He looks creepy. He is a creep. He's supposed to be creepy type thing. Her servant's name is Sazu, and Sazu kind of gets in cahoots with Decene, not because she doesn't love Maxima, but because she kind of wants to make her happy. And this is where Maxima kind of loses her shaz, I guess, in this royal court, because all these prisoners, I guess prisoners of war, because Superman's destroyed their ship and stopped them from attacking Almerac. They're all begging him for mercy, and basically it puts her in an awkward position, because her royal court is kind of like, has she gone weak? Like, is she not fit to lead us and everything? So she busts out this kind of laser whip, and then the next couple pages are like this giant confrontation between her and Superman, which I guess ultimately results in her. It's interesting. He uses his heat vision on the whip, and then it explodes, and she kind of has regret. It's like kind of the Red Sonja thing, or she kind of is quick to lose her temper, but she does really care about Superman. And so even though all this kind of feud goes down, when the pillar gets smashed and the whole building kind of collapses on them, she's still kind of concerned for Superman after that all goes down. So it's like, it's kind of like that. She has a quick flash of anger and then immediate kind of regret that she, went that far. And so it's interesting. You go from kind of fiery anger to like sort of some sweet sentimental moments between the two as it continues, basically. And I'm pretty sure this is the series of sequential pages that have all been inked by Brian Hitch, basically.
Yeah, I'm still here, everybody. I'm just showing the slides and listening to Derek. Come on. Hey, it's all right. This is like out of continuity. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real. I mean, there's continuity in the sense that at this point he had met Maxima once or twice. She hadn't joined the Justice League yet. There was no Death of Superman storyline where she fought Doomsday yet. So she had appeared. He had sort of spurned her affections a few times, but this is kind of leading into her, becoming part of the Panic in the Sky crossover and joining the Justice League, and then as a member of the Justice League fighting with Doomsday. So they're kind of trying to do maybe a character pivot with her. Like, she's not just a villain, like that she has potential to be an ally to Superman. And this was probably the first time that was ever done. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, she collapses the whole royal court, but there is that kind of regret of, she says, oh, Kal-El, look out. and then he uses his X-ray vision to kind of dig her up and recover her. And then they sort of, I think on the next page, they kind of have like a little sweet moment or whatever.
Jason said low rent Phoenix.
I mean, she's you know, to give Jason props, she's not nearly as powerful as the Phoenix, but yeah, I mean, she's a redhead like many redheads, and that's definitely something that I find very attractive about her. So if you find Phoenix attractive, then I mean, obviously, you may find Maxima attractive like I do. But yeah, and this is
Nothing
kind
wrong
of
with that.
yeah.
I got plenty of Phoenix commissions in my collection, so
Yeah.
nothing to sneeze at.
I mean, you know, to me, this is similar to, you know, it's like Maxima and Superman cradling one another. It's kind of similar to, you know, Scott and Jean, right? Having that moment in the desert, you know, that's what that's like to me, you know, like that moment where she takes off his glasses and they have that intimate moment together. And there's a lot of moments like this in that annual, basically. And she apologizes. She's like, I shouldn't have overreacted, you know, and this is that moment where she kind of says, you know, I'm invulnerable. Like, I'm like you, like we're the same, you know, at least in terms of strength and vulnerability. And again, she's trying to make the hard sell, right? She's trying to say we could have great children together. And on top of that, keep in mind, in this universe, Lois has died because she you know, tried to bear Superman's child. And so Superman is actually sitting there going, she's right. I wouldn't hurt her if we were to have that kind of intimate relationship. And of course, this is basically like, this is kind of echoed in Superman the Animated Series, this kind of bubble bath scene, because there's that moment that Bruce Timm kind of recreates this and everything. I do have like an animation cell from the one episode that she appears on Superman the Animated Series. So again, I think it was 1991 when this came out. So I think I was like 13 years old. So of course I was like the prime age to have seen this. And so of course that, you know, 13-year-old with a raging libido, you know, that kind of image of Maxima, of course, was forever burned into my brain.
And there you go. Jason wishes that everybody would open their portfolios and help you get the rest of the pages from this.
I know there's a couple people that have some stuff on CAF, and I did have some nice conversations with the gentleman who owns the cover to this, and I think where it ended was basically he saw my Maxima commission gallery and kind of nicely said, well, if I ever consider selling it, of course you'll be the first person I come to, right? So, and I mean, a lot of my commissions are directly inspired and influenced by this. This next sequence of pages is great because she's not really convinced that Kal-El's approach, like sort of inspiring by loyalty, you know, like being friendly to her subjects, is the way to go. And so he makes this wager with her. He says, look, you can read their minds, so tell me if I'm wrong. Like, have the gardener get you the most richest, sweetest, delightful fruit in the garden. But remember, you can't use your laser whip. You can't yell at them. You got to ask nice. And she uses the magic word, please. And the gardener, of course, in his head thoughts is like, if Maxima was like this all the time, you know, the Kryptonian's such a wonderful influence on her. If she acted like this all the time, I would make sure this garden was terrific. And of course, the bet is if Superman loses, he owes Maxima a kiss. And if Superman wins, Maxima will give him like a ship, a yacht, so he can fly back to Earth and check up on how Earth has been doing since he sort of exiled himself. And of course, he ends up kissing Maxima anyway. And she's like, why did you do that? I lost the bet. And then basically it ends with them saying, but I think we both won. And so this is like kind of like the ultimate, like if you ship those characters, like I think this is probably, you know, one of my favorite pages, them kissing. And then some of the latter pages go into how, of course, I guess Sazu teams up with the Scene. She didn't really mean to harm Maxima, but she knows that Maxima's haunted by the ghost of Lois Lane. And so she kind of plants the idea in the Scene's head, like, if you blew up Earth, then you could sort of claim victory over the Kryptonian. But I guess her trick plan is that if the scene does blow up Earth, maybe Superman will forget about Earthlings and Lois Lane and learn to love Maxima instead. And so, of course, that kind of brings us to like this is basically like the conclusion pages where they get into this big battle, and Superman is fighting in the ship. He does get captured by Dacine, and Maxima comes to free him. The ship basically explodes there at the bottom, and it's sort of plummeting towards Earth. And so basically Maxima and Superman have to sort of team up to stop this exploding ship with the core engine erupting. And of course, if you've seen a lot of Gundam, it's kind of like when they do a colony drop, like it's about to do a colony drop on the planet Earth. So it's going to go through the atmosphere and basically, nuke Metropolis, where it's going to land, of course, because of the dramatic tension of the comic and everything. And then you'll see on the next page, they actually hold it aloft and stop it from crashing into Metropolis. And then eventually there's a couple wrap-up pages. I mean, basically I think like all good Superman stories, I think he just like throws it into the sun or something like that. And then I think they have another kiss, and then it's almost like, at least since they've never revisited this ever again, I like to think they lived happily ever after. On this page, Maxima kind of confesses. She's like, look, I'm not totally innocent. She's like, I was bitching in the hot tub about your dead wife and how I wish, you could forget her. And unfortunately, my servant Sazu took that the wrong way and tried to set up this thing where Dacine was going to blow up your planet. And of course, Superman understands that she wasn't responsible for it. And he says, thank you for telling me the truth. And so again, not just like intimate moments like kissing, they're kind of like actually communicating with one another, and they trust one another. And so this is essentially the wrap up where Wave Rider's like, you know what? I've seen enough. Superman's definitely not going to become the evil monarch and destroy all the world's heroes. So, and I've touched Superman 3 times at this point, so I'm pretty convinced he's not the bad guy. I'm going to move on to other annuals and other heroes. And then I think the final page is sort of them staring off into space, kind of Empire Strikes Back style, living happily ever after. And then it kind of cuts back to, I guess, the present day with Lois Lane.
Yeah, that's a nice way to end it.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, again, I think other than, well, I think this was probably before it, but this and Mystic War, I think, were the first times I was really heavily exposed to Bryan Hitch art. And I just, I adore the story. It's, I mean, when I found out that this many pages were available, I probably was jumping up and down for joy and kind of lost my shaz about it. And you know what I mean? Like I just was like, wow, like this is so cool. And so yeah, again, I was super happy to have it. And again, thanks. This is like I said, thanks to Bryan Hitch, thanks to yourself for the CAF emails and everything. That was some way that actually, and Mikhail too, for sort of planning that idea to kind of get it kicked off as well. So I don't, like I said, I don't think that would have happened without all that confluence of events, right?
So you didn't have to sell anything to pick up 22 pages?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think as of this year, I kind of went on a selling freeze. I know that's weird to say, but I just want to see how things play out this year before I start getting back into the selling game. Yeah, so it, I mean, let me put it this way. I don't want to talk numbers, but if you went page by page, it's good. It's within my budget. Since I bought them all at once, it was a fairly sizable purchase and put a dent in my bank account. But I'm not quite part of the ramen club, right? I'm okay. So.
Well, yeah, I've heard of other people picking up, several pages from Bryan at one time. I know that he's, he's a regular on CAF. Like you said, it's timing is everything. He doesn't update regularly, but it seems like every other month or so he updates it a lot over a few hours, and then he disappears for a little while and then comes back. It's probably just he's a busy guy.
yeah, I was just trying to like find that right window of time where he was updating, and I'd be like, hey, I'll send him a message, and it all, in the end, it all kind of worked out. So I was super happy to have that go down. And of course, I've got all the calf listings prepped now, so you're going to be seeing a page of this for the next 22 days, guys. Either if you like it, like yay me, but if you're sick of it, that's what you're getting for the next 22 days.
What year was that published?
1991.
Okay. I was going to say mid 90s just by the look of the art, but that's they're sharp. They really are nice looking pages.
Yeah. Cool.
And as Marcus uses the crab emoticon just to let us know that he's with you.
Thank you, Marcus.
Oh man, well, Derek, that was cool, man. I appreciate it. And again, like I'm so glad you came to me with the idea. It was fun when I had a couple other people on doing the similar things.
Yeah, the demon one was really cool.
Yeah, that Wagner art was cool to see. So if anybody ever wants to kind of do an art reveal before you post to the calf, and just let me know. I can work you into the schedule. Derek needed, you contacted me a couple weeks ago, and so it didn't take too long to work you into the schedule. So you don't have to sit on the art forever.
Right. No, this was super easy. So if anybody has any trepidations about it, I totally endorse, totally recommend it. So it was awesome.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, Derek. So, so what shows are you doing for the rest of the year? Are you going to be I'm going to be at Baltimore.
I don't know. People ask me about that. I haven't made too many plans ahead of time. It's like I would like to do some stuff, but I don't know. I think Heroes Con was one of my kind of like, oh, I better go do this before I can't do other things for the rest of the year. But we'll see. I mean, at bare minimum, I'd like to go back to Heroes next year. But I guess I'm still kind of up in the air for shows. I mean, maybe something local, because I know there's like the Berkeley cons and different things that are around here, or maybe like the San Jose con that's put on by the same guys that used to do Big Wow. Like maybe I'll head out to one of those because I know those are pretty close by. So, and if they ever do another San Francisco art show, for sure, I'll probably stroll in and see what's going down.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, where was the last show from Bashar in LA? So
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in LA. So
right, and that was in May. So he's probably due for a San Francisco show in either November. I think November would probably be when he can do another one. And Marcus says the San Jose con from Steve Wyatt is less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I won't be to those shows, but I'm sure. Well, there'll be several collectors at both of those. All right.
And
cool.
I'm sure we'll run into each other at another show in the future.
It might be Heroes again. You never know.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, Phil.
All right, Derek. No, thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
Cool.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
All right. See, I can talk I can't talk DC, but I enjoy, I enjoy looking at art no matter what. And that was a good story too. I mean, it's just like, we've said it numerous times, whether it was in collector conversations or just on different shows where we just say, sometimes just reaching out to the artist, you never know what they're still going to have available for sale. Right. Same thing with like Dennis Cowan. I mean, there's a lot of art that he is sitting on, and clearly we found out from the last show with Dennis that Sienkiewicz is sitting on a lot of Dennis's artwork as well. So it's you just never know. But so it never hurts to ask. And with most creators on social media these days, it's pretty easy to reach out to them, even if they're not on CAF. So yeah, I think that's definitely the way to. What year were those from? 1991 is what he said. Marcus, I'm paying attention. Don't you think I'm not? I definitely am. I wasn't packing while he was talking at all. The quiz is for Bill. Yeah. I know. I get it, man. I get it. But let's see. So Jason says the way things are going with the hobby and his buying, he might need to be on Amateur Dueling Dealers again. Well, you're always welcome back, Jason, whenever you like. Anthony would always be open for another rematch against you. And the memes that we got out of that last one were pretty good. I can always use more of those. What's the redhead's name? Bill Maxima, right? All right, come on, guys. Now you're just anyway. All right, I love you guys. Maybe no art dealers set up. I don't know about that though. So Mikhail says a rematch with him, Jason. So You guys. Hey, but as everybody knows, we do have a amateur show coming up. I can actually pull up the slide because I made one. Where was that? For the next amateur show. That is when is that actually? I don't even have, I should have put the date on here too. It's a Monday. Oh, it's the 15th of August. And it's Mickey Anamantadu against DJ. So many of you who went to Heroes would have seen both of those guys there. But yes, they will both be on an amateur match on Monday night, August 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I think we're going to go with a regular price show too. So they haven't confirmed that yet, but that was the kind of pricing structure that I sent them when we were outlining the flavor of the show and the pricing levels for that show. So I think we're going to see a regular show from both of those guys. And you know, Mickey's got a lot of artwork that nobody's seen in 20 or 30 years. So you never know what he's going to bring. I'm actually looking forward to that. So, but yeah, Jason and Mikhail, if you want to work up a match in the, you know, for the fall, I'm game. We don't have any amateur shows lined up after August when I look at the schedule. So that would be good. We've pretty much been pretty consistent with having one a month right now. And that one will be our 16th. And that's I'd say that's one a month. Our first one was, no, that isn't one a month, is it? Well, it's close. Anyway, I love the amateur matches, as do many of you, as do many people on, you know, those other forums and places out there online that, you know, they tend to prefer the mix-up between collectors versus, you know, the dealers mixing it up and everything. And, you know, when I made mention last night on Dueling Dealers about the CGC boards, I was actually reading a post from June, so it wasn't one that was more current. I don't pay it. I visit that site like once every 6 months, so I was reading an old post. I don't know how that. I don't pay enough attention to understand how the CGC boards work specifically, but yeah, I stumbled into a post from June, the one that was talking about how the chat and the show in general is misogynistic and homophobic. Yeah, on top of everything else. But the interesting thing was that I noticed that the person who was making a lot of those statements was asked to be deleted, because that was kind of how I wound my way back into that thread. I was reading a thread that was talking poorly about a couple of you guys in the chat, believe it or not. Not in general about Dueling Dealers. It was about something else. But, you know, they were, you know, it was funny. I saw the comment from Marcus that said earlier just now, he said the best way to thank Bill is kisses. And I saw as part of one of those threads, it said that Marcus was on my payroll in order to promote premium memberships on CAF or something like that. It just shows you that people, you know, and I know many of you guys are on the CGC boards, and, you know, it's all cool. I mean, Jason, Fish, I mean, a lot of, you know, Felix, everybody uses those forums, but there's some people out there that just feel the need to be like self-important and say the dumbest things. And that's, you know, that is so why we you know, early on we had a forum on CAF. We still have a forum on there, but we took it off because I was just tired of watching that small segment of people who just feel like that if there isn't something not right with the world, with their world, that they can share with everybody else, that you know, they just need to kind of ruin somebody's day every day. But at any rate, so I wasn't mad last night. Anthony and Mike were like giving me a hard time after the show. I was like, I wasn't mad. It was just interesting to read that stuff. Mike had told me about the sexist comments and all that stuff, you know, a couple months ago. So it was probably current when he was telling me about what I had read. Yeah, they cited Tatiana as someone who might get offended. I mean, well, the thing is, clearly they don't watch the shows. I mean, they said the origin of the thigh gap was something from Dueling Dealers, which of course it wasn't. It was from Fish Benz in a collector conversation, and they don't even really get the reference to it. You know, they just think that it's, you know, it's something that's going to turn women away or whatever. But at any rate, you know, again, it's nonsensical talk, so you don't pay too much attention to it. Yes, they are miserable people, John. You got that exactly right. Not enough Thor Mankini, says Marcus. So, but yeah, we can all blame Fish for that, can't we? It's all his fault. So, but hey, what are you gonna do? And Larry, it's not in general. I mean, you know, the funny thing is you go in there and you read a lot, and a lot of it's you know, just fine conversation. It's the people who just feel that they need to be at odds with something in order to, make things work for them in their life are the people who you want to avoid. But again, whoever the person who was the more antagonizing person out there, and he could have been like the troll that we had in the chat that one night, or the person who was bothering me on CAF. I mean, who knows? It could be anybody. End of the day is, they asked to be removed from the forum because they knew they'd made such a dummy out of themselves. And even the people that I think are dummies were saying that they were a dummy. So anyway, yeah, poor fish. Yeah. And the Maximus chat was PG-13. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, race, exactly. No clue who he was in real life. Of course not. I mean, because you can on the over there and really anywhere you can hide behind whatever thing you want. But yeah, race was the person responsible for the comments in June, and also for the comments in that one thread about historical stuff where he was knocking Jordan and whatever the hell else those people were talking about. It's just goofy. Anyway. Now I'm totally not on my my schedule for this evening at all. But speaking about, we were talking a little bit about art get-togethers and everything, and I don't have a photograph from it, but there's a Vegas contingent for art get-togethers so that if you're going to Vegas, Matt Kennedy, Jeff Wedding, and Daryl are the people to contact, because if you're going to Vegas for anything, those three guys will set up they'll meet you for lunch, they'll meet you for breakfast, they'll meet you for dinner, drinks after whatever conference you're in, but hit those guys up, because they are the Vegas contingent of the comic art community. And like I mentioned last week, I'm not going to Vegas now, so I'm missing out on getting to hang out with those guys. Yes, the three-headed Vegas monsters, says Carlos. But I saw Ian had posted several photographs on Facebook hanging out with the three of them. And oh, see, there you go. Jeff said he'll send me some pics for next week. Yes, that'd be cool, Jeff. I would appreciate that. But yeah, so we got to have those kind of core groups around the country. So when you're going someplace, whether it's for business or pleasure, that you can hit up a few people to hang out with. So so there you have it. But gosh, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go through my list here. But some funny stuff. Remember last week I showed off the Anthony walkthrough, and there was that selfie with that Aranga and Mikhail ran in front of Anthony to take it. So I haven't posted the full edited video yet. I think I'll do that tomorrow. But here's a pic of that selfie that Aranga and Mikhail took of Anthony while he was doing his walk. I'm being blocked out by the bib on his head, but you can see Sharon in the background enjoying it as well. But look at those happy faces. Come on. Dueling Dealers does nothing but spread joy throughout the hobby. And those who aren't finding joy in Dueling Dealers and the other things we're doing on this show just aren't. They're not with it. They don't get it. They're not woke, right? So, but yeah, that's. I thank Aranga for sharing that photograph with me, because I've actually edited the whole thing together with that clip, but I also took the moments that happened on the anniversary show for Dueling Dealers, where Robert actually said he would pay $1,000 to Anthony. And then when Anthony held up his phone to show that Robert actually paid him, because it happened during the cake break. And then I think by round 10, Robert had sent him the $1,000 PayPal payment. So I kind of did that as a lead in to the walk and whatnot. So I'll probably post that on Saturday. I have another piece that I've got to get out there too. It was from Heroes, where I recorded that whole sit down with John Romita Jr. and 5 fans that I kind of recorded for 4C. So that was, it was pretty cool. And they told me I can share it on the channel. So I haven't, kind of just did a rough edit of it, and I hope to have that posted over the weekend as well. So I've got a lot of work to get caught up on. CJ says Dueling Dealers is therapeutic. Well, it is. It is. I think I find it therapeutic. I'll tell you, it's the one thing I look forward to every week. I know that I can, relax, hang out, enjoy all you guys in the chat, and gals. Of course, there are many, many gals in the chat during the show. And, it's the one time where I can just be totally relaxed and just enjoy everything. It just kind of flows. It happens. And whatever comes out of it, we end up making it to the end. Even though yesterday was one of probably our longest show ever, thanks to all the technical difficulties that I had. Yeah, Jeff, I apologize. I know you guys want a copy of that too. I need to upload the raw footage from the that meet and greet so that you guys can have a copy of it as well. trust me, I'm trying. I mean, now that I've got the house on the market, I think we are well on our way to getting caught up around here. I literally probably spent a couple hours this morning just getting caught up on emails from the last 2 weeks, making sure that I'd replied to things since San Diego, because I was that far behind. So and I'm missing the chat here, everybody. But yeah, so it was San Diego, and that was a good time. But I will have that posted as soon as I possibly can. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the schedule just to give you a quick rundown on that before we take a look at some weekly flip stuff. Not again, I'm not focused on the interview stuff right now. I need to get through August, but I do have about a dozen people to speak to, email, and get on the schedule for September and October. So I promise you, we will be back to a regular schedule with our Monday and Tuesday shows beginning in September. As it stands right now, just with my schedule, it's looking like, well, I can tell you that on the 11th through the 18th, Maureen and the girls are gone. That they are going to a big Pokemon World Champion event in London. On their way, they're going to Dublin and doing some sightseeing. So they're going to be out for a week. And when they fly back with Ashton as well, they're flying into Orlando. So I think that's on the 18th or 19th. So my plan is the weekend of the 18th and 19th, or it's the 19th and 20th. I'm going to be driving down to Florida. So I don't know if I'll be coming back here for too much of anything. I'm going to take at least half of the stuff we got with us, but it's going to make for a busy month. And so the thing is, I just want to lay low until the end of August before I get the regular interview schedule going again. As far as art sale stuff goes, and I did leave that Dennis Cowan on there, didn't I? I kind of messed that up, but I think that was my reference. Well, no, this isn't even the right one. Shoot, I actually have a more updated one here. Let me post that one for you, because it actually covered a couple things that I could put a date to. Where are you? Here we go. Highlight that one. Sorry about that. I made the slide and did not upload it. Here we go. So as I said, we'll have a regular show next week. Mickey and DJ on the 15th. Special show that's kind of been on the radar, but I've not talked about. But I knew it was coming. And this is actually ties into some stuff that people were talking about on the Comic Ardell, and I've seen on Facebook a bit. So on the 27th, and that says Sunday, that's actually a Saturday at 2 p.m. So that's my mess up there. On 8/27, so put that on your calendar. I am going to be doing a interview and art sale for Ryan Sook, and all of the proceeds from the show, all the profit, whatever you want to call it, is going to the Hero Initiative. So we're not doing published work or anything like that. He's got sketch cards, he's got the Hero coasters, he's going to be doing some artwork on maybe 8x10 board, not many. So most of the stuff that's going to be there is going to be Hero coasters and sketch cards. But we're going to be doing a chat and sale with the Hero Initiative in mind, and that was kind of Ryan's approach to it. So no money going to Ryan whatsoever. It's something to benefit Hero. I talked with Jim McLaughlin about it. People were saying why didn't Hero go to San Diego, and I talked to Jim a couple times a week, typically, about how I can help Hero here and there. Believe it or not, I really do talk to him a couple times a week. He actually helps me organize things like the Dennis Cowan sale and and a few of the other shows that we've done. But I told him that since he's not going to shows, and the reason they're not going to shows is because it just costs so much to set up. San Diego does not give them a free booth when they go to San Diego. They have 2 booths, so it costs $7,000 to go to San Diego, because it's $3,500 a booth. So it's an expensive show to set up as are many of the shows. I think they are going to Chicago, but end of day, I don't think Hero's permanently changing their position on going out to shows. But what I told them is if they want to arrange a every month or every other month type of sale like that I would be happy to host it with them. And it'll be done just like the the Howard Chaykin or the Dennis Cowan show, where all the artwork will be sent to Third Eye Comics, and Third Eye Comics will handle the fulfillment. So everybody can be pretty much guaranteed that they will have the artwork in less than a week, as long as they pay for it on a timely basis. So when we do those shows, we ask you to basically get everything paid within 48 hours. But so hopefully this will be the first of many shows that are done specifically with the Hero Initiative in mind. And Ryan was nice enough to kind of be the guinea pig for that. But of course, for me, it's just like riding a bike. It'll be just like any other sales show I do for Jim or Third Eye. So, yep, I completely agree. Comic Art Boston Heroes is a very important charity, and I've supported them for a very, very long time. I built one of their first websites for them and hosted it for free forever until they switched to their new marketing company about 5 or 6 years ago. So I have always been in their corner, and I'm happy to do it again. Other important shows that I have got dates for: Monday on September 12th, I will be hosting a art sale for the Neil Adams family, and I'll have I don't know if Rich Cirillo will be a part of that. I'm sure he'll be filming, but I'll have Neil's daughter on with me, Chris, and we'll have some art for sale. It'll be a lot of his published work, I believe, from the last few years. Certainly, probably not the last one, but it's something you want to tune into. I mean, I didn't really see a lot of tributes to Neil. I mean, of course there were a lot of write-ups, great things about that, but not a lot of comments and stuff from the family. So I feel like enough time has passed that I think we'll be able to have a really nice, respectable conversation about Neil and sell some art and make some money for the family. So I think that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I do believe we've also set dates both for the Vosburg and the Gerhard shows. The Vosburg show will be on September 17th. That's a Saturday at 2 p.m. And the Gerhard show, and both of those I'll be doing with Chuck Costas. The Gerhard show should be on November 12th, and that will be at 2 p.m. as well. And I still haven't got anything nailed down with Cadence. I'm trying. I really am trying. But and I know that Bart Sears is on the radar, another show like Dennis Cowan, Howard Chaykin, but we will see whether or not I can get when Bart Sears is going to be available. But Bart is on the list, so there you have it. A busy sales schedule already going into all that. But a couple things. I'll show you the other slide. This is my next big thing coming up. And again, another reason why I just can't focus on too many other things right now. The weekend after next, I've got that trip to Columbus to the Billy Ireland Museum and the Marvel exhibit. And then also whatever, I haven't really decided what we're going to call it. I still think it's probably Comic Art Live Con or something like that. But on Saturday from 10 until 3 on the 13th, we're really going to have a con of sorts at the hotel, the DoubleTree Hilton in Columbus. I know that Berkey's definitely going to be there, and he's bringing a lot of his artwork with him. Simon from Got Superpowers, Dave from Jade Giant, Bob Berkheimer. Anthony is threatening to come as well now, so we may have a really decent turnout of dealers and reps who are bringing some artwork. And of course, I think we're probably going to end up having about 18 tables space in there because this is a rather large meeting room. And so any collectors that just want to set up and sit down, whether they're selling or they're not selling, just want to have a table where people can look at any artwork they're bringing, tables will be available. So it's going to be a good time on that Saturday. And I sent out an RSVP to everybody who was following the event on Facebook, and asking them which events people are attending. And the number one event that most people are interested in attending is the con. And man, how in the world what are they coming in here for? Doggone it. The love chat is here. XYZ, adult dating site. I tell you, we just can't catch a break around here. Finally, some love, says Mikhail. Come on. Yeah, even here, they just can't leave us alone. Anthony, I saw you on the RSVP list. So, yes, looking for it. Billicon, says CJ. No. But we'll see. I have no idea what I want to call it, but I really do want to start doing. I've enjoyed doing all these virtual events with everybody, but I think it would be fun. I know it's going to be fun to be doing these in person. So we're gonna have a good time on that Saturday. And they heard on the CG boards how lusty. Yeah, exactly. They follow you everywhere, Anthony. Now we know it's you. Comic Art Live together, says SN Arts. Yeah, well, if Anthony had his way, he'd call it Anthony's Happening or something like that. But no, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. But I still think, well, who knows? I'm not even going to think about it. I don't have time to really think about what I want to name something. It's just going to be a fun get together. I'm really looking forward to the Billy Ireland Museum. I gave them my final list of artworks that people have requested and artists whose works they want to see. They want to see things from. So hopefully, we're going to have a great set of artworks to look at while we're there. I'm pretty sure we're going to have about 40 people at the Billy Ireland Museum, and they said that for the behind the scenes tour, they have to break us up into groups of 15 because there's limitations on the number of people that can actually walk into the storage facility for different reasons. And so it's just going to be, so they've worked with me. They've kind of helped me outline the flow of how that the 4 hours at the museum are going to be. So just tuned in. Is there a link with more info? I'm assuming you're talking about the get together at the in Columbus. I can post that link. I'm sorry I didn't have it ready for everybody, but I can go ahead and grab that off of Facebook. But it is next weekend, and we are essentially we're doing the Billy Ireland Museum on Friday, and then on Saturday we'll call it CAFCON for the moment, and that will be on Saturday at from 10 until 3. And then between 3:30 and 4, we will be walking over to Cosi, which is the location where the Marvel exhibit's at. And here, I will post it right here. That is where you can get more information about the event in Columbus. So, cost is, if you're going to go to the con, it will be $25. And if you're going to the Marvel exhibit, it's $25. So for $50, you can do both. Normal price to the Marvel exhibit is $45, but because we're bringing a group, I'm able to get a discount on that. So any money left over, we are doing dinner both nights. And as it already stands right now with the number of people who say they're going, more than likely what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy appetizers for every table on both Friday and Saturday night, and then let everybody worry about their own drinks. But at least that way I'll kind of prime the tables for food. So we're not going to make, it's not a for-profit venture. Any extra dollars that are laying around will go towards feeding you. So that's the way I'm going to work it out. The meeting room was fairly reasonable as far as the price that the hotel gave me, and I'm pretty happy about that. It's the $25 is pretty much the discounted rate at for the Marvel exhibit, so that's a break even. So right now I think that I've got 35 people confirmed for the show, and I'm imagining that number will go up to be like something like 45 people. So yeah, all the appetizers you want. Maybe you're not even going to want to buy yourself dinner. You can just focus on drinks or whatever you want while you're there. So something like that, Brett. No food or drinks for us. Yeah, that's right. But at any rate, so it's going to be a good time. And really, aside from the work that I did at Big Wow back in the day, my first kind of venture into doing my own little show. And as everybody knows, my plan is to have a show in the Orlando area beginning in 2024. So it'll be around February 1st, 2024 is my goal. I want to wait a year until let things settle down, and then try to plan something and tie it close to the best of ceremony that we do every year, which is of course tied to CAP's anniversary every year. So that is the plan. So this Columbus thing is an experiment, and it seems like it's going to, for what we're doing, it's going to go well. And then we'll move it on to Orlando, do something different over there. So, all right, I still have a lot to do here. So why don't we get to these weekly flips? I've got 2 of them. They're both not very long, but they are really nice. Oh, and I should show you two more images that do make me laugh. From last night's show, there was Sharon's Cake. It was the Assad Rebix or Rebitches cube. So I thought I'd show this off. I guess when Assad was in town last weekend, she had the cake all there and ready. So there's Assad looks so happy there in that right picture, doesn't he? Even in the left one, he looks pretty. I don't know if that's astonishment from Assad, but so Assad saw the cake. He didn't eat it either. He didn't take a bite out of it at all. So that was, they sent me those pictures after the show last night. And then here, I just have to show it again because it's too darn funny. But Mike will not get to live this one down. And it will live on forever, him and that black canary, won't it? So I can get into DC artwork. See, what are you saying? So, all right, first flip. Let's get just reserve Epcot, says Paul. No, I don't think I can do that. Let's see. Oh, should you email? Hey, Chris, if you want, go ahead and shoot me an email and we can talk. I haven't posted, just so everybody knows, as far as the Columbus trip, I've not posted the link to do any of the advance payment yet, but I will do that tomorrow. I did kind of create a form for that, and I was going to send out a mailing just noting if people want to pay in advance that they can do so through the form. It will be available tomorrow. I will email everybody with a specific link on how to get to that. So yeah, let's get over to these flips here. The first flip that I've got is from Paul Bragawi, and it's about 4 minutes long. And Paul, thank you very much for doing this. Again, everybody knows when we put these together, and you film them, it's really easy. You just post it to a Google Drive for me, and then I kind of compile it together and make the flip. So here is Paul's flip, and it's a really good one.
Welcome to my portfolio flip. My name is Paul Bragawi. I've been a CAF member since 2011. I'm going to start with my first original art purchase. It's from 1982. It's by Dennis Cowan of Iron Fist. New Avengers number 10, page 12, by Steve McNiven and Mark Morales. I picked this up from Anthony on Dueling Dealers. Avengers issue 27, page 9, by Ed McGuinness and Mark Morales. Picked this one up from Anthony as well. Amazing Spider-Man Full Circle, issue 1, page 3, by Chris Bachalo and Tim Townsend. Got this page from Scott Wingo during Dueling Dealers. Namor, issue 26, pages 11 and 12, Jay Lee. Picked this one up from him at a convention early on in his career. This is Gambit number 9 cover, and it was also the trade paperback. It's by Clay Mann, and next to it is page 6 from the same story. Black Widow by Mike McCone and Black Widow by MC Wyman. Bob Layton, Iron Man, and the Centurion armor. I picked this one up on Dueling Dealers from Mike Berkey. Wonder Woman by George Perez. This is my avatar on CAF, and I bought this off of eBay from a seller in Australia. Emma Frost by Yuko Smith, and Moon Knight by Bill Sienkiewicz. Dark Side by Jim Starlin and Neil Adams, Thor. It's hard to pass up Batman, but I felt I wanted something a little different, so I went with Thor. Speaking of Batman, here's Jim Calafiore and Mike Grell on Warlord, inked by Scott Rosema. Black Widow by Greg Horn, and Mystique by Robson Roca. Two Wolverine pieces, one Terry Austin Complete on the left, and Complete John Byrne from 1976 on the right. Last but not least, I've got Adam Kubert from 1992, Spawn, and Asad Rabich, Batman and Catwoman. Thanks for looking.
Dang, there's some good pieces in there, right? That John Byrne piece, the Perez Wonder Woman, the Grell Warlord. Dang, those were some sweet pieces in there, Paul. Congratulations on all of those. And it's always an interesting first piece. I mean, I know that wasn't in your portfolio, but it was cool to see that. I don't think we've had anybody do something like that before. But thank you for sharing. Definitely a fantastic flip and a great set of artwork. So I'll post that to YouTube as a standalone tomorrow. And like Kyle just said, thank you for sharing. Yeah, we all appreciate it. I mean, these are so much fun. Jason says Marcus should be up next. Well, yeah, you never know. I think we'll probably not see that. You never know, Mark. You never know with Marcus. You never know. So well done, Paul, says Dino. So why don't we now we're gonna look at the next one. Next one is from Timothy Guerrero. He put this one, Marcus says his is all DC, so I won't recognize a single piece in Marcus's flip. That's all right, though. It'll be an education for me, Marcus. Comic Art, he said he loves DC too. Comic Art Boston. All right, man, that's good. All right, well, let's take a look at Timothy Guerrero's flip as well. And he's got a Batman focus on this one, so a little different, but all DC, Marcus, all DC, and it is a good one. I liked a lot of the artwork in here. I can already tell you that. Well, I won't even tell you which pieces are my favorite, but I'll tell you after we get to see it. So here is Tim's flip as well.
Hi guys, this is my weekly flip through. I just assembled this Itoya with Batman related art. Ordering my art has been long due, and these 12 by 18 Itoyas are great because they fit the art within a mylar perfectly. This is a Joker sketch by Doug Mankey. An early Killer Croc page by Dan Jurgens and Dick Giordano. Some Marcos Martin pages from Gotham City Files. I think this story was written by Brian K. Bonan. One of my Long Halloween pages featuring the first appearance of the killer. Detective Comics page featuring Bane and Batman by Mike Diodato. Some killer Lee Bermejo pages from his Joker hardcover. A Batman the Man Who Laughs page by Doug Mankey. This I got from Anthony from a Dueling Dealers. Batman and Robin page by Philip Tan, featuring the Flamingo and Batman. These are some pages from Batman the Dark Knight by David Finch. This one features Batman, Scarecrow, and Superman arriving to save Batman. Some more David Finch art from the Court of Owls tie-ins in Batman the Dark Knight. This one is very nice. It's the Scarecrow sewing up his mouth shut by David Finch. A Kelly Jones page featuring Joker and the Demon. An Eduardo Rizzo page from Batman. His run came right after Hush, Jim Lee's Hush. Doug Mankey page featuring the return of the Red Hood. Some Shane Davis art from Batman 646. I got 3 pages from that issue. Features Deathstroke in this one. Some of the Neil Gaiman written pages of Batman. A prelim, and this is a finished page. This one I got from Albert Moy. The Batman Who Laughs a page from his one shot by Riley Rossmo. I got this from Felix. A Batman #1 page from Volume 2 by David Finch. A Sean Gordon Murphy prelim from Batgirl featuring the new outfit. A Catwoman page. I can't recall the name of the artist. It's not Darwin Cook. And a page from Harley Quinn #1 by Terry and Rachel Dotson. And that's all, folks. Have a good one.
Great flip, Tim. Thank you for doing that. My favorites were the Rizzo. So I saw a lot of people thought the Rizzo was really awesome too, and I felt that was my #1. And then I really liked the pair of Bermejo pieces as well. So the Rizzo was my top pick in that flip from Tim. I don't know if Tim's in the chat tonight or not. I haven't seen him, but thank you, Tim, for doing that. We really appreciate it. And again, I will post that tomorrow afternoon sometime. Usually post one around 2 and the other post around 5. So you can expect to see those out there. Give them some love after they're up there. Obviously, you can only comment on them, but throw a comment on them as well. That always helps out the algorithm. From what I've read, I mean, thumbs up is always good, for the show while it's live. But for a lot of shows, the comments afterwards, or especially on ones that are pre-recorded like those are, the comments actually push things up even faster, because that really shows an engagement that YouTube tends to like. Go figure. But those webcam chats, like live chat stuff, though, we know that. So thank you both. I appreciate both the flips from Paul and Tim this past week. So we'll keep things moving because let's see, we're a little past an hour right now. I'm going to go ahead and show you my heritage picks for the week. And I kind of went off a little different tangent than I might normally, rather than kind of seeking out like the best of the best stuff. I kind of just started looking around for pages I like that I wouldn't mind having in my own collection. So for my I usually would do 10. I actually kept picking because I was like, oh, that's a cool one too. I wouldn't mind owning that. So so first up, and I'll go through these as fairly quickly, but the Garcia Lopez and Bob Smith Atari Force 12 page. Never read Atari Force, but I mean, this page is just so darn cool. No real panel layouts to kind of break this up. I mean, the way it's done here, I guess you could call them panels, but I mean, I love the fact that the foot breaks in there, cuts that out. You've got the outline here for this top splash, but it's just so well done. It's with the way the figures are kind of moving your eye through this thing, it's gorgeous. I mean, I don't know anything about Atari Force. It's probably wasn't a good read. I don't know, but I love this page a great deal. And Garcia Lopez, as we know, is a master, and this piece is very, very beautiful. Let's see. Next up, again, this is kind of a nothing page, but I really liked it. Frank Bruner, Chamber of Chills page. Just really good storytelling in this. I mean, all the changes in angles. The inking is really super duper heavy and confident. Just a great all around page. And I'm not even sure which story it was from in there, but again, I really just enjoyed the page, and I thought you guys might like to see it as well. I mean, when we talk about good storytelling, so much of it is visual, not the words, and this one is just a really well done page. Now, there were a bunch of not a bunch. I think there were 3 other Pat Broderick Captain Marvel pages in here, and we actually sold one. Sold something. I don't know from what issue on Dueling Dealers the other night. But I just like this page as well. The other pages were equally as good. Some of probably even better than this one. I really just like this this particular panel with Captain Marvel, and I always like this kind of line work here to kind of bring out the face. Thought it was pretty cool. A couple other pages had a lot of action in them, and I think they had Drax in them as well, so they were pretty interesting. I think the piece that Mike sold last night had Drax in it as well. But again, if you go check these out on Heritage's current weekly auction, so of course this is for the auction ending next Wednesday, there's at least 2 other really nice Broderick pages. I don't know I think this one's inked by McLeod. I thought one of the other ones was inked by Milgram, maybe. I could be wrong. Maybe they were all inked by McLeod, but all solid pages. Oh, and I do want to say I was in both of those flips. It was cool seeing that there was artwork from dueling dealers that made it into the flip, and I don't think that's that somebody's trying to patronize us on the show, right? I mean, they're showing it off because it's cool, right? Because it's something that they recently acquired, and it's so, for me, it's great to see the show putting artwork into collectors' hands one way or another, and we've seen that happen quite often, whether it's a flip or I'm talking with somebody and they're showing off stuff that 1 out of 10 pieces that they want to talk about is a piece that was picked up at dueling dealers. So I can't tell you, it's a very nice feeling to know that that I'm kind of responsible in some way to help put artwork into people's hands. So next up, Sal Buscema, Joe Sinnott. This is a Marvel 2-in-1 page. Nice pics of Daredevil here on the bottom. I just really, this first panel is just freaking awesome. So, Joe Sinnott, he makes everybody look great. Sal's already great. So you mix the two of them together and you get a page as awesome as this. And it's a Marvel 2-in-1. What was it? Marvel 2-in-1. What page is it from? I don't know. I hate when I get the zoom in there. What is it? Issue 3. Dang. Issue 3, page 3. So really nice one there. Here is another Marvel 2-in-1. This is from issue 56. If you like Thundra, and I know there's a Thundra collector out there because they have a calf gallery. I don't know who it is, but I'm sure they'll be bidding on this because you pretty much got Thundra in every panel except the last one. But I'm sure she's on that spaceship. But either way, you get a really nice George Perez Jean Day. Jean Day was a great inker for Perez's work, I think, back in the day, and yeah. If you like Thundra, this is your page. Yeah, okay. Now, so I got to show a little love to DC still. Again, I know I started out with a DC page, but you get a little Superboy here. This is by Bob Brown and the great Dick Giordano. Kind of like that page I featured a few weeks ago. I just kind of the Jimmy Olsen page. I just again, I just like the layout in this and just the funky ways they break up the panels. This inset panel here on a panel that's small, not normal, but interesting storytelling. Zap. So there you go, Bob Brown and Dick Giordano. So here's a piece, all Al Milgrom, Rom. I mean, I know I didn't read the description in full. I know that there was some reference in here. I don't think it's a published piece, just a straight up illustration. But if you're a fan of Rom and you're a fan of Al Milgrom, this is a good piece for you. You got the Kirby Crackle in there. I just thought this was kind of cool. It looks like it was, maybe meant to be used for something since they're leaving room for a title of some kind there. But doggone it, I wasn't looking at the chat, and the love chat is back. Why, oh, why must they continue to? It's an homage to an Iron Man cover. Thank you, Dino. I knew it said that it was an homage to something, but I didn't get to. I didn't remember what it was. So there you go. Rom is a tempting squirrel, says Jeff Wedding. So the Love Shack is a place, or Love Chat is a place we can get together. Yes. Oh yeah, baby. So anyways, love this. I love this a lot. I think it was very, very nice. And I actually, for the first time, I've never done this. I actually put bids on 3 or 4 pieces, and I just put a bid on this one too. I'm finally deciding it's time to get off the chair and start participating in some of these heritage auctions that I've been talking about for the last couple months. So you got a shade page, Chris Puccello, Mark Pennington, and just just gorgeous, right? I mean, I know these it's not a whole lot here, and it's just interesting storytelling here. You got shade down there just in one panel, but or in 2 right there too. But I really like this. I remember Anthony had, I think, the page before this forever on his site, and the title page to the book, and I think it was on his site for like a year before it finally disappeared, because I kept looking at it thinking I was going to take it, because I don't think I have any published pieces by Chris right now, and it would have been one that I would have picked up. So this is a nice follow-up to that page right here. So this is one of the pages I put a bid on. Next up, what do we got? Okay, Frank Thorne. This is from Marvel Feature 3, and it mentions Red Sonja, but to me, I don't think Red Sonja was in any of these. But I just love Frank Thorne. I mean, his style is just so his own, and just really nice storytelling here. I love clearly this is a story told, some kind of a flashback page by the way that that it's being talked about here with quotes around this and the squiggly lines. We know it's something that is being related to someone else. We see the tropes typically, rounded corners on the panels. I just love the way this page was done. I think it's just great storytelling by Frank Thorne. So I did not read it. I don't need to read it to know that it's an incredible page. And I'm looking at it now. I didn't bid on this one. I'd like to own this page because, Frank Thorne's stuff has been going up a bit since he passed about what is it, 9-10 months ago. And so if you can get a good page with Red Sonja in it, they're pretty pricey. So this one probably will end up at a fairly reasonable price. So just something to consider if you got Frank Thorne on your list. Trevor Von Eden, Black Lightning. Now another DC book. I never read it, but I thought nice action on this page. And again, it's just back to like I said, I was looking for odd pieces that I wanted in my collection, and I would definitely own this page right here. So I like the fact that he's busting through a couple panels here on that one. Just really nice, like the first panel here. So Black Lightning, there you go. And that's my 10th pick. And then I couldn't stop as I kept scrolling through the list. These are my 3 extra pages because they're really good. Adventures in the Fear with Morbius here. Don Heck, Bob McLeod inks again. This is just a really, really nice page. And this is from from Fear 29. So just an early Morbius. Look, Dexter Crabb right there, right on the page. I missed that earlier. But, Morbius needs to drink seawater, apparently, to I guess, in lieu of blood. I'm not quite sure what's going on that page, but it's a great page. And 2 more here. This is a Young Romance. This is volume 2, issue 3. It's by Bill Drott. Again, I'm not even really familiar with Bill's work, but saw the page, and you can look at it. You can see Milton Caniff references and stylistic kind of stuff going on here. But this is a really look at all the text on this thing. But I just totally dig this page. Look at that's all the room they left for that panel. It's for the art. So much of it, 3/4 of it is words. But from top to bottom, this is just I love it. I love the way the faces are illustrated period wise. Again, this is from 1949, 73 years old, and it's gorgeous. I would love to have this piece in my collection. And finally, hey, I somehow managed to lose my last page. I don't even know let me see, what was my last page over there? There was one other page I was looking at. Oh, it was an Omega Men page. Here, I can open that up and put it over here because I had it in my write-up. So this is Todd Smith, Mike DiCarlo. And Omega Men was one of the few DC books that I read as a kid. And so here you go, just a nice page. The first panel is the one that does it for you, but it does it for me, at least. Don't know if it does it for you. But again, just a nice page, and I wouldn't mind adding this one to my collection as well. So there you go. Those are my heritage picks of the week, and lots of nice stuff in there. What is it? Bill did the he did the 50s Phantom Stranger. I wasn't aware of that. So I like that. That Bill drop page was really, really, really cool. Oh, he's holding Rubik's Cube. Is that what he's holding? Let me see. You're right. He is holding Rubik's Cube. I could have made a fun mock-up on that, couldn't I? That would have been interesting. All right. Yeah, that's very observant of you, Dino. Thank you. And yeah, well, again, Heritage sponsors the show, and I enjoy doing these picks as well for them, for myself. They didn't ask me to do that. That's just my add-on for the support of them sponsoring everything. So yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and show off the EXP preview from Nick Barucci. As you know, Nick has the EXP show every week, Friday, from 7 to 8 p.m. on the EXP channel. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. Of course, YouTube is always the place where it's happening, just like it is here. You want to watch on YouTube because that's where all the fun chat is really going on that you can interact with. So I would always encourage everybody to watch the EXP on YouTube as well. But, they're happy to get the traffic from anywhere, but YouTube is where it is at. So let me play this clip from the EXP to show off the artwork that Nick has available tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Everybody got to do this one with a quickness. So, Friday. Let's see, what is tomorrow? August 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Experience. We're going to have a fun show. It'll be chill. We're going to relax. We're going to talk comics. We're going to talk art, more importantly, comic art. And we're going to have really cool art. I'm going to give you a hint. One of these pages will be $53. One of these pages will be $75. One of these pages will not be like the other. It will be $530. But I think you might be able to figure out which page covers the $530. Have a few things that'll be priced towards when a character first appeared. It's just going to be a fun original art experience. So, Sheena, number 3 cover by Roberto Castro. I wonder if when I said covers, that was a hint. Mighty Avengers, number 30, pages 13 and 14 by Sean Chen. I wonder if that'll be at a special price. Let's see, Hulk number 9, page 22, and look at that bottom panel, that rocks. I love it. I love Ron Garney, you guys know that. Then we do not have any John Romita Jr. this week because we did so much last week. Then we have Iron Fist, Death Queen of California. Check it out. Orson Randall, Cam Smith. Then we have Crisscross, JLO, Scott Hanna, issue 14. Check it out. This is going to be a fun show. I can never put these back. I'm not going to try. Iron Man, issue 7, page 21. A little bit more Sean Chen. As you guys can tell, Sean Chen is also one of my favorite artists. Then we have New Mutants, number 1, page 1. I wonder what I'm going to have this one at. This is by Diego Neves and Cam Smith. Then, maybe this time we'll finally get the Fantastic Four 584 by Steve Epting. And then we have FF 605 by Ron Garney, pure pencils. It is gorgeous. Plus, we'll have our commission cover art, Amazing Spider-Man 850 by Ken Hazer. Check out the Alien cover by Ken Hazer, all silver, and Stray Dogs by Ken Hazer. So, this Friday, August 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Original Art Experience. Hit that thumbs up, share in all of your fan groups and Facebook groups, and I will see you then.
Sorry, taking notes over here. Just got a premium payment while we were doing the show. I actually had 3 premium payments today, all from first-time members of the Premium Member Club, if you want to call it that. The Premium Member Club, just for men and women, members of Comic Art Fans, but first-timers today. And I'm gonna shout them out. Why not, right? So Ryan Coyle, Raphael Mudge, and Raj Patel all became premium members today. So thank you to the 3 of them, Ryan, Raj, and Raphael. Everybody with an R to start off their name. What's up with that? Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you, everyone, for supporting CAF in that way. But as everybody knows, I still manually upgrade those, but it shouldn't happen for much longer. We're actually finally, I think, going to enter the 21st century with an automated system of taking the payments and upgrading the accounts when you make the payment. So I can't swear when that's going to be in. It will be before the end of this year, but so as of today, at least I get to interact and actually update accounts on my own. So again, thank you to the 3 of you for supporting the site. 1 like to 70. We can get there, can't we? Can't we, Nick? We've got over almost 90 people watching the show right now. So yeah, so there was that. What was I know there was a comment from where was that I highlighted? If Bill is moving, how come his room is getting more cluttered again? It was only, I was trying to stage it a little bit so it didn't look like bare walls when people are walking through my house to kind of look at things. I didn't want it to look like I literally wasn't in here anymore. So kind of every room we made look a little bit more habitable or inhabited than it looked like a few days ago, a couple shows ago, before we had everything just off the walls and repainted. So we made it to 72. See, I just need to remind everybody to hit that thumbs up. So Without further ado, let's finally get to that CAF update. The CAF update covers, what does it cover? It covers the 25th to the 31st of July. And this was, as I said last week, it was going to be a big week for dealers. And I was right, because there were a lot of dealers who didn't record their sales while they were at San Diego, recorded all of their sales properly in their admins, those that we track, last week. And the big winner from last week, of course, was Albert Moy. As everybody knows, as was stated by numerous people, Albert himself, that he had a fantastic San Diego Comic-Con. So Albert was the top seller last week. Now, the total sales for the dealers that we track was $550,000 in sales. That's probably the highest we've had in over a year. And Albert amounted to almost 300,000 of that, $297,000 from 30 sales. So he averaged $10,000 per sale. He did sell a few Neil Adams pieces that I would have loved to have owned, and a few other things, but we'll see those in a few minutes. But so Albert, number one. Felix, of course, had a few drops last week, I believe. He had 116 sales, 84,000 in sales as well. That covered some of his San Diego sales as well. Anthony was next, 72,000 in sales for Meet a Man. Fourth with just under 37,000 in sales. Then we had Panel Page and Scott Eater rounding out the sellers that we track with over $10,000 in sales. So very, very busy week, finally, recording-wise, for the dealers in our little network. So, so I'm glad to hear that CJ is doing better. And we're at 78 likes now. My gosh, we should talk more. We should talk more about thumbs up, and we get more quicker. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and show the video clip here for art dealers, and here we go. So like I mentioned, $550,000 plus in sales this past week. Number one was this Two-Fisted Tales issue 21 cover by the great Harvey Kurtzman, and it is fantastic. The asking price on this one was $85,000, and that thing is gorgeous. Next up, a Jim Steranko X-Men 51 page, page 11, asking price from Albert, $55,000. Look at that thing. That is so darn awesome. And here we go. This is, I believe this, it's Hulk issue 6, page 6. We know this was a special page from Ryan Otley. $40,000 on that one. Oh, little risque on this one. It's PG-13. Gil Evgren. This one's sold by Albert Moy for the price of $28,000. This is the skin I love to touch, is the title of that one. And here's the piece I would love to have owned. This is from X-Men issue 61 by Neil Adams and Tom Palmer. $25,000 on this Sauron versus Iceman page there. And finally, the sixth highest price piece of the week, unused Superman comic game puzzle illustration by Kirby and Royer. This one was also sold by Albert Moy. Asking price on that one, $25,000. So a very, very nice set of, yeah, like Dino said, wow, on the Steranko X-Men. It was, I mean, that was a beauty. And again, the Neil Adams one as well was probably my favorite, but Steranko would be number two. Steranko is just, it's just so rare to see his pieces come to market of any kind, but an X-Men page, you know, just great. So congrats to everyone who picked those up. But I'm sure those were all San Diego Comic-Con sales for Albert, as we all know. So moving right along to the auction houses. Auction houses pretty much even with the week before. The week before, $291,000 in sales, and this past week, $282,000 in sales. eBay made up $137,000 of those sales, whereas Heritage was at $145,000. So let me go ahead and show the top 3 sales from eBay and the top 3 sales from Heritage. So first is eBay. Now, creative marketing on this one from this seller. They said they actually put Bernie Wrightson in the title. I think Wrightson might have done the cover on this one, but he did not do the interiors. So this is by Dick Ayers, and this is from House of Mystery 256. And it's the title page for it, sold for $3,500. Next up, Bo Hampton's Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 36 cover. This one sold for $3,450. A very nice piece there, if I do say so myself. I saw that one coming up, and I knew it was going to do well and be in our top sales. And then finally, the Sean Gordon Murphy Batman and Batmobile commission sold for $3,000. There's some nice bricks in there. hints of bricks. All right, these are the Heritage top 3 sales. Number 1, this Jim Starlin Al Milgram Giant Size Defenders page sold for $6,600. And next up, a very nice Mike Mignola Rocket Raccoon page inked by Al Milgram. This one sold for $5,760. I own a page from this issue as well. Not as cool as this one, though. And finally, a Vampirella drawn by Jose Pepe Gonzalez, and this one went for $5,280. So a good week for both Heritage and eBay. And I should add, of course, that Hakes had their auction last week, but we don't include Hakes results in ours. I guess I could. I mean, technically, it's been a while. I used to get Hakes data because I would call it and pull it into the for sale, market data history. But and they've given me permission to do that. I just kind of stopped. I should actually go back to doing it so I don't really know how much Hakes did sell original art wise from last week. We are going to be doing a recap with them. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but is it next Monday, or it's either next Monday or the Monday after that? I can't remember now. But they did have three interesting sales. Well, probably the biggest one was that those Star Wars strips did really well for them. I know they had those 6 strips. I think combined they sold for just over $170,000. The top selling piece was what was it, number 7? I think it was 7 or 8. I think it was 7. Sold for about $42,000. Those Al Williamson pieces, and those were really, really fantastic. So congrats to anybody who picked those up. I know I saw Jeff say he didn't get one. I know a few other people that had commented that night that they didn't get them either. So I don't know who picked those up, but anybody who did should be really, really thrilled. Lazy Bill. I am lazy sometimes, Jason. I just, there's just not enough time in the day. I'm working on it though. Jason says he's hunting new Batman covers now. You've turned to the dark side, Jason. I don't get it. Hake the fish. That's no. Hake the auction house. Okay. So why don't we? I see my good buddy Chris, who apparently was drinking with he's giving a thumbs up. I'll just bring him in. He said he was drinking with Eric Wenger. I saw in the chat about 30 minutes ago. So we're gonna see how he's feeling. Hey, Chris, how are you tonight?
I am fine as frogs here. How about you?
I'm pretty good. I haven't had my first drink yet, but I will.
So it is National IPA Day.
Oh, it is.
So I am drinking Bowie's Spacesuit by Eagle Park, which is a local brewery. So for all our Bowie fans in the audience, yeah, I'm paying homage.
Well, very nice. Let's see. So I'm just reading through I missed a couple things here in the chat. Chris is looking ducky, says Jeff Wedding. Yes, he is. Here, let me answer one quick question. Peter Rowe. Peter, I told them today when I sent them the list that it would be my last email, but if you want to make any last minute requests, feel free to shoot me an email. My email, bill@comicartfans.com, and I'm happy to pass along any requests that anybody who's going to Columbus may have, because again, this is free for everybody who's attending. So if you've got a few wants to see, I will do my best to work with them and make it happen. All right. So I'm glad. I didn't know it was National IPA Day, or I would have had one handy.
I didn't either, but you know what? I'll take an excuse.
Red Bull Bullet Comics says Major Tom and Ground Control.
They have another beer called Major Tom, and it's amazing.
But it's not an IPA.
It is a milkshake IPA. It's a strawberry milkshake IPA. So
hey, look at the love chat's back.
All right, love
Chris.
chat.
Maybe
love chat.
I can't believe it. What is going on with that these days?
Hey, that's where it's at.
Like I said, and I've said this. I can't believe this is freaking Google we're talking about here. They can't stop this crap from happening all the time. How can they not filter this stuff out?
There's a non sexual one. Barbara Lerner Specter.
New theory suggests that CERN Collider could open well, thank you, Google.
Bring it, CERN Super Collider.
But I can't even flag that one as because usually through the whole interface I can flag things as pornographic, child abuse, blah blah blah. I don't even know what to flag that.
Tyler calling out the Spiegelau glass.
Knowledge. Man, look at that. That's a beer glass right there.
Dude, this is if you've never had an IPA out of this glass, you're missing out.
I've never seen a glass like that, to be honest with you. That's
I'm gonna
pretty
send you
cool.
one, Bill.
All right, all right. Yeah, CJ wants to know how strong the IPA is. IPAs knock me out. I can only have one. Usually, if I have
This
two,
is
I'll have a
a 8%, so
8%.
easy.
So yeah, so
Easy.
it's easy. Yeah, it's not the 12% that the big boys drink. So yeah, Jeff Wedding says physics spam. Exactly. Where does this stuff come from? Oh man. All right. So why don't we get a go? Well, actually, I got to cue things up here, but it's always nice to see you, Chris.
You
So
too,
are you going to
buddy.
make it to Columbus? Or I had a feeling since we hadn't talked about it that
No, I have a family birthday on that Saturday, so no, I'm stuck here. I apologize. Eric,
no.
I had it all laid out, and then this invitation came in the mail and was like, "Oh, you've got to go to so and so's 70th birthday party," and I'm like,
Well, you can't miss a 70th.
"No, I would love to, but
Yeah, they only come around once. Well, that's all right. Hey, at the end of the day, it's going to be fun. I wish you could have been there, but I know, you and Eric and I will get together at some date in the future.
I so desperately want to go to Billy Ireland too. Like that's like a I don't want to say bucket list, but that's a to-do for me for sure."
Yeah. Well, I can see, I'm not going to say who, but I did talk to somebody who thought about making Columbus an annual kind of show, and and it's not me, but they were, they kind of saw that, it is a draw. Billy Ireland's a nice thing
Definitely.
to visit. So I was kind of giving them all the information about the hotel and the things that I've kind of got lined up there. So it may become, like an annual show down there. So a reason to go to the Billy Ireland and tie it to an art con in Columbus as well. And I mean, the
Well,
Midwest,
like, you could come up and visit family and
yeah,
friends.
that's what I said. I mean, I have an aunt in Columbus, so
Yep.
so I would definitely be into helping them get that started. And again, we've got the two shows on the West Coast, the one on the East Coast. If I can start one in Orlando, and then you have one in
Yeah,
Columbus
man.
too, and I think that covers a lot of bases for people in the country. So
For sure.
I am all for it. Frank says, drink a few of those and hit the Heritage Auction.
It wouldn't prevent me from making any decisions that I wouldn't already make.
All right, and Google Barbara. As a Christian, this excites me. It's game time. Come on, Google Barbara. Enough of that.
Barbara, come
You've
on.
got Spectre in your
Barb,
name.
really?
And we can play some mini golf, says Mikhail. I haven't even been back to Chips Clubhouse this year. It's
That we could do. Oh my God. Can you imagine how fun that would be when you don't own the place?
I've been wanting to go back so badly, and I literally have not had a moment this entire summer, because I told all the people who, of course, were my patrons for 14 years there, that I was going to do a night. I was going to buy pizza and just have anybody that wants to say goodbye or thank you for the 14 years. So let's do it. And I haven't had the opportunity to set a time aside. I've really got. I mean, the summer's almost over, so I got to do it.
You'll do it. You'll do it.
I got to do it because I want to play the course one last time.
You have to.
I do. I really do. Local man seen punching the decor at a mini golf. Yeah, it's funny. The guy who bought the place actually he bought like an 8-foot tall dinosaur, and it looked like somebody must have hung on it, that poor T-Rex's arm too much, because he broke it off. I told him, I'm like, you put something like that out there, people will break it. And sure enough, it didn't last a year before they broke the darn guy's arm right off. So hopefully he's found a good way to weld that thing back on. So without further ado, why don't we talk about some original comic? Okay. All right. Barbara's talking politics now. Barbara is gone. Sorry,
Bye, Barbara. Bye, Barb.
You can't talk in the chat anymore, Barbara. We did, we were trying to, commiserate with you just a little bit, but yeah, we're not going there.
Living in the Matrix. Oh my God, I love it.
All right,
Barbara,
now I've seen it all.
my dear, if this is the Matrix, I'm taking the blue pill.
Oh boy. All right, I knew I should have brought a beer to this show tonight. I gotta, when I get down to Florida,
one.
I'm gonna have a cooler, right next to my table from now on, for just occasions.
Get a little
like
fridge
these.
in your new room.
Yeah, Chuck says maybe Barbara will come to Columbus. She may have a big sign out front or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
So all right, let's get this thing going here. Get things loaded up and sized properly. Let me reshape this window a bit.
This week was insane. I could have picked all my picks from like the first 3 days that I looked through.
And hey, I want to highlight this. Look, Raj Patel right here. Now, before we even look at the art, because the reason I'm down at the name is because, of course, when I create the mailing, I actually come down here and copy each person's name so I can get it linked over and everything that I send out today. Raj Patel went premium today. And as you can see right here, right now, he is not premium. And I'm going to go ahead and just refresh. Come on, baby. Show me the star. There it is.
There we go.
Gallery owner. Thank you, Raj Patel.
Killing it, Raj.
That. Oh man, I love it when the site works like it's supposed to. All right, now of course the image isn't bigger. Raj, if you're out there, you probably didn't ask, but the images cannot be made larger after you've uploaded them. But if you go back and edit this image, you can have a much larger scan with this artwork, and it certainly deserves one because
well earned.
Yes, this is a beauty.
Yep. I highlighted, I think, a con commission actually from the same artist last week. And Raj was kind enough to put up a published piece, and like Alessandro Capuccio is killing it on Moon Knight. This is incredible, like really in every way. I love the range of values. Moon Knight is an excuse to like go nuts with values, right? Because the character's costume is white, everything else is dark because he only operates at night. I mean, it's just a great excuse for an artist to go insane with values. Capuccio here, like, not only goes crazy with values, but he's using so many different techniques. This doesn't.
Uh-oh. Did Chris? I think Chris is. Oh, Chris, you were frozen there. You got frozen just a minute when I blocked.
Okay, sorry.
Bill Hates, because Bill Hates I think it's Barbara in disguise. Bill hates Barbara. So sorry to interrupt you, Chris.
No, I apologize. I guess I was saying that Moon Knight's a good excuse for an artist to go insane with values, and Capuccio obviously does that here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, love the slightly tipped perspective on the page. I love the brushwork there at the bottom that just kind of missed away the foreground there. I mean, it's funny because it's all typically he's fading the foreground. It's the exact opposite of what we would expect from most illustrations, and yet, man, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Yes, Aranga, I think you've got it right. Bill Hates equals Barbara equals race. My goodness, Aranga's figured it out. Oh my goodness! But yes,
you cracked the code.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But I love this. I would have picked this piece as well. I saw it when it was posted. I mean, look at the color piece too. Let me go ahead and pick that too. It's one of the few color pieces where it's like, that's
wow, yeah,
I really like it. It goes so well with the black and white, believe it or not. And I mean, I'm looking at it now. It's how we don't say that too often, but whoever the colorist was on this thing, fantastic job. I mean,
and you get that element of like neon light, like at night, with the different colors. Yeah, very cool.
Agreed. Yeah, no, that is a good one. That is a good one. All right, so I did get my like on that one. So Raj, thank you for posting this, and also thank you so much for going premium while the show was in progress. We sincerely appreciate it. All right, so next up in Nick Warmack's collection, I'll get my like on that one.
So Nick Warmack has been around forever. Like, and normally I don't take note of like the gallery owner when I pick a piece, but from time to time, if like I recognize a name, I make a note. Nick Warmack has actually sold me art in the past. He's a tremendous asset to the community, I think. But I mean, wow, right? Well, I think we've all probably seen Adam Hughes work on Hellboy in the past. He's done a fair bit of it, but for Adam Hughes to just be in ink, there really isn't anything tonal happening here. And I think that is a great way to illustrate his mastery of the medium, because he doesn't need the tones, right? He doesn't need the Copics. He doesn't need the washes. Like, this is just a straight up and down, black and white ink piece. And look at how amazing this is.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely gorgeous. Even with all those skulls, Maureen might even approve because she's a big Adam Hughes fan. Well, she probably wouldn't, but still.
They're small.
I do love this.
Skulls are small.
Yeah, they are. They're almost you almost don't even notice them when you.
Inconsequential.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, I would have picked this one as well. It's really, really nice. And and Adam, I just love his work. I mean, he kind of can approach things in different ways. He can be very subtle with his figurative work, and then here which is something you don't see too often. It's just a ton of detail, lots of characters on it. He's lots of times he's focusing on a single character or a couple characters, and here you just get this montage of characters, so you get a lot of detail in this thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
And he's such a tremendous designer too, and I think this piece shows that off well.
Yeah, nope, I agree. Yeah, it's fantastic. So Mr. Warmack, congratulations on this one. And let's see, he's been a member since 2006.
Yep.
And his website is artaddicts.us. All right, we know that feeling, don't we?
I think he represented Ryan Sook at one point, if I recall.
You know what? I think you're actually right on that. Yeah. Sorry, just reading through the campfire aspect to the halo lighting is killer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Well, Nick, congratulations on that one. So now we're moving over to Aaron N's Calf Gallery, and we've got a Joe Kubert page from Our Army at War. Yeah.
What do you say about this? Right. I mean, it's raining in most of the panels, which Kubert kills. This is obviously his milieu, so you're already dealing with something where he's going to be like at the top of his game. I love the particularly on this Nazi officer's face on the left, the negative rain cutting through like the figure drawing there. And then there's action, but there's also emotion. Yeah, I mean, this is Kubert doing what Kubert does best.
Yeah, it is. His line work is just so unique, or his brush work, I guess you should say. I mean, because it's not clean, but it comes off, perfect. And you look at the the rain slick on this guy. His line work is so rough, and I mean, again, he's not worried too much about the detail here in these other soldiers' faces, right?
But you know who everybody is, right? Like rock is rock, and like ice cream is ice cream, and like
Oh yeah, Octung. I didn't see that. You two are crazy. That's right, says CJ. But yeah, no, very good page, and I mean, gosh, even that top panel is gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. Dang. No, that is a keeper for certain. And let me put the like on there.
For JD in the audience, I picked several panel pages this week.
Very good. All right, so next up, this is in Brett Bean, their collection. Been a member for 2 years.
Was bigger.
Yes. Let me get this from Jeremy Opeña.
Yeah, so I really love Opeña. I wish there was more of I wish he worked more, to be honest, in like the last few years, but I have a feeling he's kind of like doing stuff elsewhere as an artist. But his panel pages are rare and they're not to be missed. His run on Punisher in particular was terrific. But this issue of Wolverine, I mean, this is what you want in a Wolverine page, right? Like some schmuck with a gun like threatens Wolverine and he like slices the barrel off his rifle. Like it's prototypical Wolverine, so it's terrific.
Yeah, no, really nice storytelling in here. I love the single panel too, and then I mean, it's a very interesting layout on the page, but works really well for the storytelling on it. So yeah, and you're right. I mean, it's gorgeous, and the scan seems kind of dark too, unfortunately, or it looks probably it's not a scan, is it? It's
maybe a photo.
It's got to be a photo. Yeah.
Apologies. I just like the page so much.
Yeah, no, I know it's but it is. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, but it is. It's a gorgeous page.
Yeah. And to, Chuck and Tyler in the audience, yeah, I know he's been doing 7 to Eternity, but like there's just, I don't know, there's just not enough Opeña, in my opinion.
All right. Hey, and Jason D is commending you. Well done. I noticed he said about your selection of panel pages. I don't remember what I picked now. But here we go. George Hodge. So, and George, very good. Everybody knows this. I had Dennis Cowan on Saturday. There was this Milestone Generation documentary that was released on Friday. on HBO Max. So if you get HBO Max, I know there's lots of controversy out there with Warner Brothers and HBO these days, but this Milestone documentary, I think it's only about 53 minutes long, but it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
And Dennis is featured prominently, throughout it, as well he should be. And you just have to definitely, take the hour, watch it, because it's really, really fantastic. So,
and if you go on YouTube right now too, there's a lot of really terrific ancillary kind of like interviews surrounding it, kind of like about the release of the documentary with Cowan, and everyone I've seen has been really good. And like, he's very like insightful about the whole thing, which I think is really cool too.
He is. I mean, yeah, he's well, we've seen him twice now on the channel. I mean, and yeah, he's a very, very nice guy to talk with, and great stories. And yeah, he's a really cool guy. We actually remember. I don't know if you saw. Were you in the chat on Tuesday or on Saturday?
No, I missed it.
But we ended up talking about because he has a lot of his old artwork, and Sienkiewicz has inked him a lot. And when we got to talking, and he was saying, I forget what we were talking about. I don't even remember what books we were talking about, but he said that Bill has a lot of his work that he just doesn't give back to him. They're only 20 minutes away. So he'll give him the pages, Bill inks them, and then he doesn't return them. But Bill's not selling them either. He's just sitting on them. So I said, we should get you and Bill on the show. And the next time we do a show, we should get both of you on the show and pick pieces out of your 30-year history and try to, don't focus on any one title. Let's like get maybe one or two pieces. They don't even have to be the best piece. Let's just get something to give us something to talk about. And instead of doing usually we only do like 15, 16 pieces, focus on the art, do like 24 to 28 pieces and
really
short interview. Mostly we'll just look at the art and sell it, but we'll talk about each piece, and that period of their time together.
Yep.
And he was totally into it after the show. He even asked Bill. Bill said that he would do it.
Awesome.
So we're actually talking about trying to get a date in September.
Even that most recent question book they just did, like, Lives of the Question, I can't remember the title of it, but is so good. And like they're, they're towards the end of their careers, right? It's still so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were meant to work together. I mean, Bill's inks on Dennis's pencils. I mean, man, it's just great. I mean, and so yes, so I'm hoping that this isn't, it's going to happen because Bill said he'd do it. Now it's just a question of setting a date, and I'm supposed to talk with somebody in Bill's camp about how we can make this work. But I think everybody would be excited to see this. I don't care if we sell any artwork. I would have just been happy to sit down with the two of them to talk for a couple hours. So it's going to be a really good show, I'm sure. So
very cool.
Jason says, shoot, I need to save some money. Yes.
Good at it, Bill.
So sorry for George for not talking about this page. George picked up a piece of art, or did you pick it up? No, George got a commission, I think, at the show. But here we have a piece from Hardware 32.
Yeah. So what I love about this is it highlights the character design, which I think was so good. It's also like very indicative of the time, which I think, a lot of people in the audience, like this was our like heyday of reading comics. So that's cool too. But Prentice Rollins not to be dismissed on inks on this page. This is terrific.
It is. It's gorgeous. And kind of like that Atari Force page with the great storytelling.
Which I'm buying.
You're going to buy that one? I don't know anything about Atari Force. I mean, I'd seen the title, but I'm like, is that the Atari game?
Who cares? It's Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
I know. The page is beautiful. And so I look at this, and it's that same kind of smart storytelling that doesn't need panels. The word balloons kind of help break up the flow of the page, but the figures just help you flow right through it. I mean,
you know what you're looking at.
Oh man, yeah, it is it's a really, really well constructed page. So congrats to George for getting this, and and Prentice Rollins, another good companion artist inker with Dennis in many ventures, and so again, great piece here as well. Looks like it's only signed by Prentice. So congrats to George on this one. And again, if you haven't checked out the Milestone documentary and you do have HBO Max, please do watch it. It is fantastic. So here we go. We got Wes Steffen, and on this one, and let me get my like on there. And this is Sal Buscema, Joe Sinnott, FF. What was it? 183. Another. Let me click on that one. Get a little bigger artwork here. God, Sinnott makes everybody look great, but Sal on his own, Sal is just freaking awesome. You could tell a Sal face any day, right? It doesn't matter, what character he's drawn. It could be the Thing, it could be Thundra, but man, I mean, this is just a really great page. Sal is definitely, I love Sal's work. I don't know. Do I have a round page by Sal?
So full disclosure, I'm not a huge Sal fan, and I'm not a huge Sal fan because I feel like when you put the Buscemas next to each other, there is a disparity. Okay. And because John followed Jack on FF, I'm partial to John. Okay. And I think a lot of us are.
True.
But having said that, this is just an amazing page. That middle section, like, it's not even really fair to call it a panel. That middle section where, they're fighting the Thinker or not even the Thinker, like his construct, and everybody's pitching in. I mean, this is just like prototypical, awesome, Fantastic Four artwork.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I get your bent from Kirby to Big John. You could. The thing is, with Sal, I mean, I know a lot of people have kind of always known this about Sal. I kind of always looked at Sal and thought he just was like the lesser Sal, right? But
he's he's the little brother, like whatever you want to say. And
right,
I believe that for better or for worse, I believe that.
Right. Well, but the thing is, I'll tell you, the more I've looked at his art, and thanks to you and all the, the more we kind of dive into these pieces and look at him more. I mean, he was a master, of storytelling. I mean,
100%.
I mean, and the more I look at his work, I mean, I know it's different than John. John, because John was just incredibly talented. His line work when he inked himself was just fantastic. But Sal, I mean, he's a master. And I look at a page like this, and it's gorgeous. He really pulls in just like everything you'd want. And the thing is, he could have probably been doing a book and a half a month or 2 books. I don't know how
right.
Right. He was prolific.
Prolific.
And it always looks like Sal. It's not, he never cut corners, and probably regardless of who inked him, it still looked like Sal. He just had a very distinctive style that, I mean, maybe my younger self might have looked at and just said, why are they letting this guy draw comics? And I look at it now and it's like, now I know why, because he was just so good. His expressions on the characters were always spot on, and he's just a great storyteller. Yep. So,
well, and to your point, I mean, Sinnott's not hurting here, right?
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, let's rally some more likes. Thank you, Nick. We should be able to get to 90 before this show is over.
I think we had 100+ last week.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. What did B&G say? Sinnott may go better with Sal's work than John's ever, though John is the classic, super gifted artist of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the consensus, but like that's not taking away anything from Sal. Like when you say John Buscema is a god, it's not saying Sal Buscema is not amazing. It's just saying John Buscema is a god.
That's true. That is very true. And I'm sure. I'm trying to remember. There's had to be a few pieces by Sal in the Marvel exhibit. There were certainly a lot of pieces by John in it. I'm gonna take a lot more photos when I go back to the Marvel exhibit in a week and a half. But at any rate, yes, Sal. I appreciate Sal more and more every day. The more I look at his work. So, and if we got Nick Catratis in here, he'd probably be telling us or finding an angle on how Sal is better than John. Which
he'd be burning me with a lit cigar.
Nick is probably Sal's biggest fan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Him and Jade Giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. And even Matt from Pop Squinchel says Sal's Hulk was a touchstone of my youth. Exactly. Yep. I mean, he drew the Hulk.
What didn't he draw?
Right. Exactly.
That's a big part of it.
Yep. I mean, his work on Defenders. I mean, yeah, you're right. You name it. Sal was a journeyman, man. He could crank out the stuff. Did he work on X-Men?
Tremendous amount of respect for that. I mean, somebody made a comment earlier, like he brought the trains in on time.
That's true. Yeah, I love all the comments. John is more illustrative, but Sal is also a master artist. Sal is the better Buscema. So is
Yeah.
your drinking buddy Eric.
Eric wants a punch in the mouth. He's begging for one.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right, let's see here. Oh, we're going to a piece by Mobius, and the collector's name is Kaizi.
Oh, he posted a bunch of Mobius pieces this week. So Airtight Garage was sort of when I found Mobius, when they were doing the Airtight Garage in the US. And I distinctly remember seeing this in color in one of those big fat volumes that they released in the US that was like sized perfectly. I don't know. I mean, Mobius just takes me to a different place. Like, this is all so good. It's so clean, but it's, the subject matter is cluttered. Every time you look at Star Wars or The Abyss or anything. Exactly. I mean, he touched everything, whether directly or indirectly from that same time. And, people who are our age, like, you've benefited from Mobius, even if you didn't know it.
Correct. No, this is a really, really cool piece. I'll never own a piece by Jean Girard, but I love looking at it, and this is a great pickup by I have to see it again because I'm never going to pronounce it right.
It's a funny name.
Kaizi. But I actually didn't see the other pieces that they picked up. So they're a collector from Belgium, and have been on the site for over 10 years. Wow. Well, again, this is a great piece, but I just want to kind of let's see. I guess it would be in his Mobius gallery room.
He has a bunch.
Dang.
Yep, I almost picked that one too.
Well, all right. I'm going to leave. Actually, I'm going to pull this one off to the side so I can look at it later. I'm going to put a like on that one too.
There you
that'll
go.
make it easier for me to find them later. All right. Oh, this is a piece that Marcus has got left to comment on. I'll pay you for that one later, Marcus. Collector E.O. Scarp, been on the site for 11 years from Italy. Makes sense for Dylan Dog here. So, I can't click on it. I thought I could. It's a nice big scan, though.
Just, I mean, look at this.
Dylan
I mean,
Dog.
it's a panel page, but it's not. I mean, I love the ink wash effect. Like, it's painterly. It's really evocative. Like, the falling panels, and then he's waking in the bottom panel. He's in this nondescript, like, dark room. For people who've read Dylan Dog, this is like this is kind of a known thing. But if you haven't even seen Dylan Dog, this is just a beautifully illustrated page.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and it's that breaking that panel would could have been just 2 panels on here. It's an interesting choice. I'm not quite sure why. I'm sure.
Well, the progression, the movement, like, you're understanding like where you're going in that bottom panel, and he shoots up, right?
You know what? You're absolutely right. If you wouldn't have put that in, if it wouldn't have been, if that split wasn't there, it just wouldn't feel right. But with it there, no, that's really, really cool.
I mean, we know as comic readers, right, what's happening when you split that panel. Like, you're going, like, time is progressing, like something is happening. But yeah, you're 100% right that those first 2 panels could have been one panel, but would it have been as effective?
No, not at all. Yeah, now that I'm looking at, because when I first saw it, I didn't quite understand it, but now, it was necessary for the storytelling there. Wow. Very, very, very interesting page. And I hate to say it, I've never read Dylan Dog, although I really want to, because kind of I've got I like that kind of stories. I guess more. I mean, because isn't it more like there's horror, it's a little
it's noirish, for sure.
Noirish, yeah. So it's always been something that I wanted to at least get some kind of a trade for them, just to get my feet wet.
Well, Dark Horse did some excellent reprints of this, and they were in a kind of a weird small digest format.
Okay.
But easy to read, kind of easy to carry around, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but like, you could stick one in your pocket. They did the same thing with Nathan Never, and I want to say about the same time they did Lone Wolf and Cub. So they were, Dark Horse is kind of like bringing in all these different like global comics. And Dylan Dog was a recipient of that.
Well, I will look for those. I was actually at a comic shop today. I didn't even think to look for that. But all right, I will. I will definitely try. I'd like to at least. I've seen people, talk about Dylan Dog a lot, and I feel terrible that I've never read it.
I think between Dylan Dog and Nathan Never, you get like such an awesome cross section of like the and probably Tex. You get such an awesome cross section of like the very best Italian comic artists.
All right, I will look into it without question. All right, so and again, Geo Scarp, 11-year member of CAF. Thank you for posting that one. So let's see, we got
no Zagor, Marcus, no Zagor.
Zagor next. Okay, another you're picking some interesting CAF owners. Another 11-year member here as well, by the name of Flappy.
Okay,
they're in the United States though. So let's see here. Like on this one. This one,
blow it up.
Yeah, very, very cool. Wow, look at all the detail on that beauty.
And it's visual chaos, but at the same time, like there's so much to pour over, right? I mean, so Alice in Wonderland is, trippy and busy and like all those cool things that like an artist like Kim Jung-gi can really like dig into. So it's a perfect subject. But if you've never like watched a video of this guy draw, he is the king of contour line drawing. It's amazing to watch him take like a blank piece of paper and then produce this in like no time flat.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's I have seen several videos of him at work, and yeah, he's incredible. And I know that there's what is that gallery that I crawl for CAF that has Gallery Daniel Megan in Europe. I don't know if they rep sales for him, but they always have a lot of
something.
Yeah, they always have several pieces of his available, and they're fairly reasonably priced. I mean,
there's another guy who's done a ton of stuff for Games Workshop. So I used to play Warhammer, which I think I've talked about in this. But Karl Kopinski. So they have a very similar style, and they have a very similar method actually, and they're both kind of like of the same. I can't remember what their school or what their group is called. I apologize, but they both belong to kind of the same school of illustration. And to see both of them do this contour line stuff, it's mind-boggling.
Well, this was a great pick. I mean, we've picked a few pieces from him in the past, but this is a good one. So congratulations to Flappy from the United States for this wonderful pickup. Only one comment at the time that this thing was posted. All right. So last pick here from Chris.
Love this.
Vigo Jose Augustin. So
yeah. So Vincenzo Riccardi, I've only come to somewhat recently, and I think via Instagram. But my God, look at this! It's just it's a Doom bust. But like, look at how fun, like how, I don't know, like
the textures in this one.
This is incredible.
Right. I mean, it's an interesting background, but then you're carrying it into his cloak like that. Yeah, it is. It's trippy to say the least, and
it's very characterful too, right? I mean, Doom is a wizard, but he's a genius, so he has all these like technological things that he does, but at the same time, he's kind of a wizard, and his mom was a witch, and yada, yada, yada. And like all that comes through here.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, it says it's mixed media because it does look like there might be some like heavy charcoal or something going on in there. Along with the paint. I mean, it's again, it's one of those ones. I wish it was a larger image. So where's we don't know where Vigo's from, but they've been a member for 12 years.
I apologize, but I've kind of given up on the like being able to blow it up. When we started doing this, I was like, I'm gonna really focus in on like, is the quality of the image good? But there's so much good stuff out there where people don't have a scanner, or like I really try to avoid cell phone photos, but at the same time, like I don't know, there's just so much good stuff on CAF, Bill.
I know. I mean, Yeah, if I could give large scans to everybody, I just would. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, you have to. I don't, I don't base my picks on whether people are premium or not. I mean, I'm always looking at the art first. But no, this is a fantastic one. And I wouldn't have seen this if you hadn't picked it. So I'm glad that you did.
Awesome. Even better.
And congratulations to Vigo on that pickup. So and 10 great picks as always, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let me pull up my 10 picks for the week here. And shifting my screens around. Come on. So there we go. Got that. And some days, oh yeah, I don't do the internet well. All right, here we go. Let me resize this thing.
Oh,
yeah, I had to pick this
great.
one. Hey, there you go. The Cloaked Crusader. I have to tell you, Renee from Ava Inc. is promoting she's put together a gallery show that's going to coincide with New York Comic Con at a historic, I'm not even sure where. You'd have to follow the link and get all the details. So we've been posting press releases for her, but there's that ad right there. I think it's happening on the day before New York Comic Con, like Wednesday, but it's going to be highlighting all the times that George Washington appeared in comics. And it's, of course, it's mostly DC, everybody. He didn't appear in too many Marvel comics. I don't know if any, but he appeared in a lot of DC comics. So they're pulling in some artworks from a lot of artists. I know Neil Adams, George Perez, a few other people.
Wow.
But so it's going to be an interesting gallery show.
A lot of people don't know George Washington was jacked. He had a back like a Dorito. Really, he had that V shape. Yeah, he was shredded.
Well, he earned the title Cloaked Crusader then, didn't he? But yeah, so what it's going to be, there's an opening the Wednesday before New York Comic Con, and when you see that link pop up, the banner ad pop up on your when you're on CAF, give it a click, take a look at it. Again, anything that's promoting comic art or comics in general is a good thing, and this is tied to New York. A lot of you guys are going to New York, so if you're able to squeeze in a trip to check something like that out, and it looks like it's in a really cool historical building as well. So definitely take a look at that. Now, speaking of the piece that's on here, this is in Duke Fleet's collection. Duke has, he continues to impress me with his varying tastes. But we've got a Sal Buscema Submariner 39 cover to melt the hearts of many, including Nick Barucci, because he's a fan of Subby, of course. So this is Sal Buscema and Marie Severin, and again, things we just talked about earlier about Sal, just a really well designed page. You can argue whatever you want about maybe Subby's anatomy here, but it's just a great cover.
Look how furious he is.
Exactly. I like Severin's ink on this one as well. And there's a fair amount of whiteout on it. Who knows why? They didn't like the way the tire treads were drawn originally. You couldn't put Michelin's in there. Goodyear said you had to do theirs or something. I don't know. But really, really nice detailed work here. And again, you can see this is an early piece for him. You can see some Kirby influence there and the machinery and stuff. But yeah, really, really nice. And I love anything that pops up that's historical like this. Here's the printed cover too. I mean, just great. A 15-cent cover. I don't know. I don't have anything more to say about it other than I loved it the moment I saw it. Run for Your Life. The Submariner.
The old logo is so cool.
Reserve. Yep.
I want to know from Duke. So what I remember about Duke is when he was on the show was he was talking about how he was shrinking, he was getting rid of pieces, those kinds of things. And now he's buying like Sal Buscema Submariner covers. So obviously something in Duke's life has changed and we need to hear about it.
Right. Honestly, it was funny because it's been a long time since I did the interview with Duke. He's somebody whose collecting habits and tastes have changed so much since the first time we interviewed him. It would be worth doing a follow-up interview with Duke. I'm gonna make a note of that. I'll see if
he loves art, and I love that.
Oh, I completely agree. I'm making a note right now. I'm putting with a question mark. Would he want to do a follow-up interview? Yeah, that's good. Just like when Larry did those follow-up interviews with people. A couple years later, I thought it's a good thing. And Duke, it's been a while. and he's somebody who, like you just said, tastes have definitely changed for him. But yeah, I'll be curious. So we'll see. Not enough elves to buy, says Marcus. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well, Duke was very focused on those elf.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really obscure elf books.
Yeah. And Tim said Marie gives Sal a very distinct look without taking away from Sal's style. Agreed.
True.
He loves trees, says Mikhail. All right. Well, I've liked that artwork. Congratulations, Duke, on that pickup. Next up, a Mike Grell John Sable cover. Now, I do really like Grell's work a lot. And let me go ahead and click on this one. I didn't mention whose collections this is in. I guess I should have done that first. Let me get in there. Gene Park, of course. Gene's got an amazing collection. Got to say hi to him in person at San Diego. Just classic Grell here. Grell always has a lot of nice detail in his work. And I think this is I've never read Sable. I have to admit, I hate to say it. It wasn't a book that I read, but this is I dig this cover. Widowmaker. I love the style layout. It's funky. From First Comics always had those that very distinctive kind of cover layouts. I mean, maybe it was the way their logo fit in there, and maybe the title logos for the books were a little different. But yeah, I just like this piece a lot, and I've always been. If you haven't had a chance, if you've never talked to Mike Grell, just doesn't matter what you're going to talk about. Just strike up a conversation with him the next time you see him at a show, because he's so affable and fun to talk with. I mean, you could stand in. Yeah, I mean, you could stand in front of him for an hour and talk to him pretty much about anything that he's worked on or anything in comics, and he'll carry on a fun conversation with you. So, yeah, don't. There you go. But see now, Pops, sequentialism, Matt. I know it's right in the sweet spot for John Sable issues. I don't know. I didn't read it, but yeah, I love this piece.
Yeah, I mean, this to me is peak Grell. A lot of people would say like Longbow Hunters or whatever, but I think this is when he was really firing on all eight. I would say the same thing. Like First for me was really about like probably Tim Truman on Grimjack, but you couldn't like go pick up Grimjack without seeing John Sable on the stands, right? So definitely, like, this is such a cool era for Grell.
Yep. Nope. I agree. That is, it's gorgeous. I love the, I just love the detail in it. And Grell's work always impressed me. So, congratulations on this very nice pickup, Gene. All right. Now this was my, this was the image I used for the show thumbnail. Let me go ahead and get here now. Zadok posted a ton of amazing artwork.
I know.
And I'll even pop over to his new page just to show some of it off. But man, I mean, I could have picked almost any of the pieces as my picks of the week, and they would have all been great. But this Frazetta piece was, I mean, this could be. Frazetta is always great, but this piece is as rough. It feels like it's a rough piece, but the more you look at it, the more refined it appears. I mean. And polished. I mean, when I first looked at it, I thought it was a prelim, before I even went to the detail. And even at first, it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like looking at it, I'm thinking that it's just a real quick piece. But then the more you look at it, the more you realize how beautiful and finished it really, really is.
How perfectly executed.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think in here it was used for a couple different versions of a cover. Yeah, there you go. You get a couple there. But Zadok's got an amazing collection all around. But adding a piece like this to it is just adds to his impressive collection. But I want to go over to his.
And like, do you see Mignola here?
Yeah, you could say that, right? There's certainly reference to it. I mean,
right.
If you can kind of convert this in your mind to to a kind of a washed out black and white version, yeah, without question, heck yeah.
And when you start to think about like the direction that an artist goes, right? Like less is more and less and less.
Look what Chuck just posted.
Shut up, Chuck.
So, but it's true. I mean, it's funny. I mean, you're absolutely right. And so is Chuck. But Frazetta, you could probably find a lot of artists in Frazetta's work.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
To Kevich, to Gadolin, to Adams, you name it. Frazetta influenced continues to influence creators today. I mean, anybody, it would be a fool not to study Frazetta and borrow something. They're always going to learn something from it.
But like this is so primal, so gestural, so I mean, given the subject matter, it's easy to say it's primitive, but it is. But like, what doesn't work, right? Like this all works perfectly.
Yeah, it does. And it even looks funny, you see one leg, of the gorilla, but you don't need any more. I mean, it's,
you know where the other one
this
is.
is so well done. Just think about it. If you add a second leg in there anywhere, I don't care where it is, it'll throw the whole thing off.
And it would butt into the shrubbery there, the leaves.
Right. Or it would ruin the negative space between the gorilla and Tarzan. I mean, it just wouldn't work. And 100%. And Frazetta probably doesn't even think about that. He's just like, I don't need a leg there. The leg isn't seen because it's behind the other one or whatever. And so he does it, and it's perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, but I want to hop over to Zadok's main calf here, because I'm kind of forgetting some of the other pieces that he posted. But just the Jim Lee X-Men cover, right? Let's see here. Right.
Big whoop.
Yeah. Nothing special there. Well, here, I'll put a like on it.
I so almost picked this until I read that, like, oh, it was up on calf, and then I took it down, and then I was like, well, is it fair to pick it then?
Right, exactly. But still, so he posted that. I know he's been selling some Frank Thorne stuff, so that actually says it's for sale. Harvey Kurtzman Mad. Let's see. Can I forget? Can I actually see 30? Yeah, I can look at his 30. So okay, so is that, and then the Frazetta. So yeah, I was looking at those 4 pieces. Man, he's killer. I would love to see all of his collection at one time. So, but Zadok's been around for a while, as anybody that knows him, can attest. He's got a fantastic collection. So, congratulations to Zadok on that. So here's a piece in Daryl R's collection by Danny. This piece, I'm not super familiar with Danny. I hate to say it, but I tried to kind of brush up a little bit on her work before talking about it, because I was drawn to this page obviously by the creative structure of it, right? As panels go, I mean, who draws panels like that, right? These bent. I mean, it's just gorgeous storytelling. And then, I went and looked at other pieces by Danny, and you see that similar kind of flair for coming up with new ways to do sequential storytelling.
Yeah, there's Miller, there's Topi, there's Rizzo, there's Sienkiewicz, there's I mean, she's not, I don't want to say stealing, she's learning from the best.
Right, and really putting her own spin on it. Just so much so that, I mean, again, I don't know what she's worked on, but it makes me want to go and check out the books that she's worked on, just to see her process and laying these panels out, because the few other pages that I saw were equally unique, even when they were like a full page splash. There were a couple of those, but just a really creative eye. And you can't say that there's a lot of people, a lot of artists out there that are really trying to like reinvent sequential storytelling. I mean, look at that third panel that's breaking the second and the first one, right? With the arm and the sword. It's just,
and it's all progressive,
right? I mean, the more I'm looking at it, it's more and more interesting the more I look at it. So yeah, like everybody you just referenced, from Miller to Rizzo, etc. You can see it, but she's definitely just putting the most important part of it, of herself, into this piece to make it unique for the readers. And wow.
Well, I apologize. My dog is freaking out upstairs. I'm going to be right back. I never had to do this before, but I'm going to leave you on your own for like just a second.
Yep, no problem. All right. Dog emergency, everybody. You got to take care of the pets. All right. So I've lots of nice comments as well in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one without Chris, so we can keep the show rolling. But let me get my like on here. Congratulations to Daryl on that pickup. Next up is in Khalil's collection. Khalil had a few pieces that got a lot of comments this past week, but this Flaviano Armentero, somebody I'm not familiar with, but I just saw this piece. It made me smile. You get the Kirby feel to this, Kirby machinery, a little crackle around. Professor X, the Watcher. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on here, but I just really love this page, and wasn't familiar with the artist at all. So this for me was me stretching a little bit. Like Chris stretches every week, picks some people that he doesn't know. So this was me picking an artist I was not familiar with. Let me take a look at that color piece as well. Hey, not too bad on that. That even makes it feel more Kirby-ish with those colors, doesn't it? So let's say this is a rare night when we can see two color pieces from a black and white that we actually think the color pieces look pretty good. So there you go. So congratulations to Khalil on that one. I'm jealous on that one. I like it. Red Bullet says, "Get that dog an IPA, Chris."
Yeah, sorry. My neighbor needed. Long story. Anyway, I'm back.
All right. Well, so this was my fourth pick of the night in Khalil's Calf Gallery by Flaviano Armentero. So I just thought it was cool. I like the layout on this piece, or the Kirby feel. Don't know anything about the story, but I like the ink wash. I like the space is usually I look at this thing and say, well, space is usually the darker side of things, and in here it's like a light wash, and the machinery has the heavy inks on it. I just think it's very interesting. The more I look at it, the more I think it's a very just an approach to a piece in ways that you don't see done too often. So congratulations to Khalil on adding this piece to his calf.
Yeah, I agree with you. The view screen portion of it where Watcher's like looking out into the cosmos, but and that's the ink wash tone, but then the like inside the ship is the dark part. Super effective. Flaviano Armentaro is like a tremendous color artist as well. And I think that's a good coloring job.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. This is the first night I think we can actually say not one but two pieces were colored well. But yeah, very, very gorgeous. Mikhail says that Cam represents the artist. All right, I will have to check out inkyknuckles.com.
I have a piece in my gallery.
Oh, well, I'm behind the curve here on some of these artists. So what can I say? All right, so he's called McSpidey fan, but I think we're going to start having to call him X-Men fan soon.
And Star Wars fan.
Star Wars fan. Yes, exactly. I could say this is a nostalgia pick, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is for me when I was reading X-Men before. This is second run, Cockrum, Bob Wycheck, of course. I love this. I love this page to death. It's from issue 155. I mean, God dang it. I'm so jealous. I mean, I know I said this to a piece that McSpidey fan picked up, I think a couple weeks ago, that on another X-Men piece with Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Cyclops, and Colossus on it. But again, this is another killer piece, nostalgic piece by a long shot. I love that second to last panel. So much of that done in the crosshatch. Is laid out, the car explosion, the smoke, the fire, even a bit in the characters. It's just great. I mean, Cockrum was just so on his game during this.
That bottom the bottom right panel too. You have like the absolutely emblematic Professor X and Cyclops Cockrum faces, the expressions, like that's just Cockrum to a T.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, without question. I like Mikhail. Stay in your lane.
He won't be contained.
Exactly. So congratulations to you, Mr. Wingo, on another great pickup to your collection. 40 years old, ladies and gentlemen. So next up, this is let me get the like on here. Jason G's collection. Let's see, member since 2015. Nice Art Adams. We'll see. Fear Itself, number 2 cover. Just really nice storytelling here. Love the perspective. Love the brick walls, kind of drawing into the characters, focusing on stuff. Right. I mean, dang. I mean, Art Adams being, the master of the crosshatch here in this piece. Man. This thing is it's absolutely gorgeous. I've seen this piece, before, and I'd be thrilled to have this in my collection. I mean, it's just amazing. Dang it. Just the detail.
It's so clean while at the same time being incredibly busy.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many lines. There's so much going on in here, but it could not be clearer, right? And I think ultimately that's what Art Adams does. It's cartoony, but it's not. And like, I deliberately didn't pick this because I was like, I'm not going to pick Art Adams again. And then I was like, God, I hope Bill picks this.
Right. Cause I kind of shy away from Art Adams a lot, but I couldn't on this one. I mean, I just love it. I mean, you can see, you just look at those bricks. I mean, they're tiered in such a way that, I mean, they're disheveled. I mean, everything about this, it's so, the world
ridiculous.
is so tangible, you know, and I love, and you look at, you know, I don't know what Fear Itself was about at all, but you know, whatever that character is, a vampire, whatever, look at all the heavy cross hatching and in that but it doesn't come off as a heavy dark. I mean, it feels lighter than any other thing out there. It's,
and
you know,
what's
it's
sick
moving.
is, Bill, that could have just been a silhouette.
Right. I know.
It could have just been a shape.
Exactly. And but for me, it's like it's drawn so heavy and yet it's so light, you know. I mean, as far as the character doesn't feel very weighty, but like you said, it could have just been done in silhouette. But so just gorgeous piece. You know, I love a lot of things that Art Adams does, but this is a piece I'd love to own. I mean, I just love the detail in it. God, I mean, yeah. So congratulations again to Jason G. Very deserving of the 22 comments, at least as the time that I had pulled this thing up. So many bricks, says NSN Art. Yes. All right. So in Chuck Arnold's calf, this is Chris Samney Catwoman illustration. Let me get my like on that one. You know, I've never owned anything by Chris, but I wish I did. I really should correct that. But
he has a doodle sale on Saturday.
Does he really?
Yeah, don't compete with me, but he has a doodle sale on Saturday. They're cheap. They're little. They're like, you know, 4x6 in a lot of cases, but just still so good.
Well, so this one, Marcus is yelling, dueling dealers buy. This one is just awesome. I mean, God, I do love Chris Samney's work, and the darker the better, you know. And this one just crammed with detail, whether it's, you know, the buildings in the background.
Did you see Batman?
The silhouette of the Bat. I was going to say the silhouette of Batman there. I mean, it's great. I mean, I don't even want to look at it close up. Let me click off of it.
I don't even care about Catwoman.
No, I mean, you really, at the end of the day, Catwoman could be gone, and this would be
tremendous.
Yeah, you're right. You could take Catwoman out, fill out the rest of the city, leave Batman in there, and
it'd be great.
Be just as good. I mean, Catwoman just makes it even better though at the end of the day. But it's Chris is an excellent artist. And this is what year is? 2014. So this is an older 8 years old piece. So yeah, what more needs to be said? Now I guess I'm gonna have to figure out where these get dropped on Saturday.
Big Cartel.
All right. Well, you're helping me out now, Chris. Thank you. And everybody else in the audience.
I think there's a Thor.
Oh, so he does, like, he fully previews everything, huh?
So yeah, you can see everything. Go to his Big Cartel. You can see everything that's gonna be for sale. Bookmark it. Like, do whatever you want. Don't buy the Blue Beetle. Don't buy the Thing smoking a cigar. Don't buy the Winter Soldier. We're good.
Hey, I have to tell you, there were actually several. Look, not several. I think there were 2 or 3 interesting Thing pieces in the Heritage auction, not including the Marvel 2-in-1. I think there was a Joe Sinnott drawing of the Thing. You already have. I bought you the one card, but this looked like maybe a 9x12.
I'm still in it.
That was a really good Thing piece that was there, and there was also another one too. I can't remember who that one was drawn by, but if you haven't checked out the Heritage Weekly auction, you should, because there were a couple pieces screamed Snork when I looked.
Thank you, sir.
See, I'm trying to help you out, but I'm going to check.
I'm looking out for you too, buddy.
I'm going to check out the Thor on Big Cartel from Chris Samney and bookmark it for Saturday if I like it. All right, Comic Art Boston. I know Comic Art Boston was also in the chat earlier. So this is from Ramon Perez, Amazing Spider-Man 1. It's a DPS, and there we go. Let me click on it. So it's kind of an origin style retelling, of course, but you know,
Oh wow.
this piece right, you know, that
Ditko.
panel is just phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
look at that. So much packed into the panel. I know it's a DPS, so it's half the, you know, half the page already, but it's just it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I love the line work in there. It just helps, you know, kind of tie it together in a really interesting way. Curious to see how they colored that one and see if we'd like it as much, but it's gorgeous as is. But yeah, great retelling there. And let me go back to the full one because you can actually see it. I just love as a DPS, the whole structure of it, the long shadow with the Spidey costume in that first
Yeah.
panel. I mean, yeah, this page was really great. And so with Spider-Man putting, you know, I don't know, I did not read this particular book, so you know, he's putting his mask back on. Just cool. I mean, I love this thing. So Comic Art Boston, what a thrilling page to pick up here.
Tremendous. And like, obviously, I mean, you know, look at the eyes on the Spider-Man costume. That's Ditko. This is Ditko.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it's still, obviously, it's modern. It's Ramon Perez. I beat up Eric Winger until he got a Ramon Perez Spidey. I was like, dude, like, come on, what are you doing not having one of these? But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Ramon Perez fan for a long time. He actually did like illustrations in an RPG that I used to play like way back in the day. So I've been a Ramon Perez fan for a long time. So to see him at this level, like just tremendous. Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. It really, really is gorgeous. So congratulations, Comic Art Boston. That's a good one. And hey, I have to tell everybody, I mean, I don't know, I don't think we talked about it last night on Dueling Dealers, but for those of you who remember John being very ill, Mike's brother at San Diego, what they finally narrowed it down to, strangely enough, was a spider bite. The thing that was giving him the paralysis and whatnot. He, because remember, the other thing was
Berkey did that.
Well, that's what I was laughing. I'm like, are you kidding? You know, what was it? You know,
are you kidding me?
Was it, you know, he's like, I'm dead serious. He's like, you know, we went to a doctor once they got back, because remember they had COVID, but I had said it's weird that they had COVID when they got back from San Diego, because John was tested twice while he was there, that Wednesday and Thursday when they took him to the hospital, tested twice, and he was negative, but he was having these crazy effects, right? Well, they went to a doctor related to the COVID thing after they got back to Ohio. And the doctor said, well, those are classic symptoms of, you know, of a spider bite, you know, for somebody who would have a bad reaction. They were like,
you put up NSNs.
Let's see. Oh, Mike was experimenting. Very well might have been. Very well might have been, you know, because I was like, I'm like, are you pulling my leg? He's like, no. John said that because John's like, he's like, John was like, I was cleaning the garage on Tuesday and I remember getting something bit me good on the, you know, and he's like, bit me on the back of my hand. And I'm like, you're full of, you know what? There's no way. And he's like, Bill, you know, this is with Anthony and we're all in the green room talking, you know, and he's like, Bill, I swear to God. He even showed it. There was like, he's like, yeah, John said, I just thought it was a mosquito, whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. And so that's what it was. They circled it back. So who knows what kind of spider it was, but John John thought he was going to die from when that happened. You know, he was in convulsion 2 nights at the hospital at San Diego because of that. But yeah, how ironic, a spider bite dropped him. All right, 2 more pieces from me, and I'm looking at, you know, here's an interesting calf flow problem. Take a look at that title going all the way off over here. Somehow we either have to, somehow I either have to trim that or let it flow. I'll have to figure that one out. I've actually never seen anybody with a gallery.
How long is that? Holy wow!
That is a big one. I wonder what happens if I click on it. Well, there you go. Zoom. Well, I don't know. See, you never know. When you build a site, you never know how people will use it. So
I would say gallery owner, do better.
Yeah, well, you know, he's got a lot. It probably grew, right?
But maybe do like Silver Age, Bronze Age, Modern Age.
Well, that's just, you know, that's the problem is your calf gallery grows. It's like you either have to start reorganizing or, you know, some people approach them and, you know, like you just said, maybe they put them in eras like Amazing Spider-Man and do it, you know, 10-year period, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough. Definitely
Ooh.
tough when you've had a calf gallery for a long time to go back in and reorganize it.
He's
So
got a lot of ASM though.
definitely. Well, we are, Comic Art Boston has one hell of a calf gallery, as we all know. I mean, look at John Romita Senior piece. Look at that. Take a look at that. See, since we're in here, we might as well look. I mean, whoo,
Ooh, wow.
dang it. That's awesome. Holy moly.
Sinister Six. Yeah.
It's funny that there's some owners, calf gallery owners that we could just like look at their calf gallery for our talk.
Oh,
Chris,
easy.
and just
Easy.
be like, we're doing Comic Art Boston's calf gallery tonight, and just browse through there, and we could easily pick out 20 or 30 pieces to talk about. That's something to think about. Something to think about one day.
It is. We could highlight a collector for sure, and it would be we would never run out, Bill.
No, not at all. I mean, I was thinking the first person that goes to mind, I'm thinking of Nick Catratis and all of his Sal Buscema art, or even his romance art, or even his Archie art. And Nick Catratis, you could like focus on just topics that he has collected.
He posted a piece on Instagram the other day, and I texted him, and I was like, Nick, is this for sale? And he goes, I never sell Buscemas.
He doesn't.
I was like, okay, sorry.
Very, very true. I know he doesn't. He doesn't sell much art at all, really. But yeah, wow. All right. So, but that's something to think about. I'm gonna make I'll make a mental note of doing collector kind of dives. I think might be interesting to do in the future.
That'd be so fun. I would love that.
All right. So we got really one more piece here. And this is, I don't highlight a lot from Rob Pistella. I don't know. He does update his calf gallery now and again. This is by Dick Ayers, and just a real, everybody knows I love the title pages and everything. So, for me, it's not nostalgia. This is just a really early piece from Marvel, as far as like this with these characters. So this is for, what was this, 1964. So and it's from Strange Tales. What is it? What's from 1960? Oh, 117. There we go. Just really nice storytelling here. I mean, the inks are kind of a little heavy, but I love it. And I love these old pages with the heavy writing all around them. Because you just don't see a lot of these, but it's always from that early period. It's noted Strange Tales October 63, even though Rob says it's from 64. So just cool to see a piece of history like this and have it be around and have it on calf. As everybody knows, Rob Pistella has a great eye for art. I know Fish has commented on that numerous times in the past. I think he's picked up a few pieces from Rob over the years. Rob's helped curate some shows at the Illustration House in New York. I think the most recent one was was it a Marvel show from a few years back before COVID. So Rob's an important person in the hobby. He's one of our moderators as well, has a good eye for that. And we should talk about moderators after I'm done, Chris. Or well, after you're done on the show, I'll talk about moderators momentarily. But again, this is a really, really nice piece. And again, I'm just happy to have it on our site.
Gorgeous. Look at Sue's hair.
Yeah, that's an interesting haircut. But for the style for 1964, she was she had it going.
Absolutely.
Oh, and there you go. Fish is here. Hey, Rob's taste in art is insane. Only the best stuff. Profiles in history. Yes, that's true.
Yep.
Yep. Flips.
I feel like Fish is always here. It's just whether or not he wants us to know.
He chooses to tell us that he's here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, I love it. And again, I'm really happy to see a piece like that on calf. So, so those of you who end up browsing into Rob's calf gallery, check this piece out, and then definitely spend some time. Again, another collector whose collection we could spend a lot of time, in there just talking about. Fish. I have a program that notifies me and signs me on the minute you mention my name.
He may indeed.
Yes, he might. So congratulations to Rob on that one. I already did like that one. And, I actually pulled up and threw this in here. This is that page I tell you that I kind of browse every now and again. There was a ton of great artwork added last week. Mikhail's Mephisto by Mike McCone. Marcus posted this Paper Girls piece by Cliff Chang. Comic Art Boston posted this John Romita Jr. Daredevil page, which was fantastic. I mean, there were so many pieces posted last week that I could have
There's
picked.
the Frazetta.
Yeah, the Frazetta one that I got, this Mignola Batman. There was Wolvie fan picked up this Rob Liefeld MCP cover. Joseph Melchior posted, this FF page that he picked up over San Diego from 246 with Doom all over it. I could have picked this Fred Hembeck. I mean, there was a Burn Uncanny 132 page. Another look. Here's Alan Davis.
Can you click on that?
Yeah, I can. Here, I'll look at this. I mean, there were just so many.
Oh,
Look at that. Jeff Wedding says, if you say fish 3 times, he magically appears, much like Will Wheaton.
or
Don't
Katie
say it in front of a mirror, though, or he'll appear behind you. But yeah,
that's insane.
Wow. But yes. So I love, this page is just for my eyes only to go through and like pick out, it uses that algorithm that Maureen helped me put together to find stuff. But, again, a Ken Lashley Uncanny page looks awesome. This Walt Simonson Thor and Michael Kenyon's Calf Gallery. What else we got here?
Are you telling me right now, Bill, that I do this the hard way?
You do it. Well, I go back and do it your way as well, but I start here. I mean, look at this Brent Anderson. God loves, man kills.
Man kills. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I pulled it away so you couldn't see it here. Let me squeeze it back in there. Oh, no, I'm doing a terrible job of that. There we go. And look at that. Shoot. Oh,
even the cell phone picture.
Wow. But it don't matter. I mean, that thing is it's incredible. I've always wanted a page from that book. What else is in here? There you go, Sal Hulk right there. And Rafa Amat's Calf Gallery. Look at this Diodato and Johnny McCloskey's Calf Gallery. I mean, this was a sick week for great art.
Jason's Goblin Queen.
Right. And this Patrick Eugenio's Tim Sale long Halloween.
Oh, that Tim Sale Batman is insane. I love it.
I know. I'm not even gonna go look at it because it is. Look, even the diaper bomb. Mikhail had a diaper bomb. Took a picture of it. He even gave us some auxiliary images of what was inside. Don't look at the nude. That was the one I got yelled at. So, but now we're gonna end it right there, Chris, because I can talk a little bit about moderation while we're here. But thank you, Chris, as always, for your wonderful picks, and we'll be at it again next week. So, Chris dropped out. I didn't get to wave at him goodbye, but now I have. So I won't go back to that one piece, but it was funny. Moderation. It's something that, that's what drew me into the CGC forums to begin with, was something I forget. Well, because we do have a set of moderators, and there was even within the moderators were thinking that they weren't really active because we kind of made a group email list, and guys would email there sometimes. Do you think this should be moderated? Do you think it shouldn't? And the thing is, moderation for those guys is actually built right into the site. And there really is like 3 of the guys that are regularly moderating CAF. And I get emailed every time they say, I think this piece needs moderation. So while those 12 guys who are moderators weren't using the group email where they were asking each other whether or not they should be moderating a certain piece or not, there's like I said, there was probably 3 guys who are regularly, flagging stuff and sending it back to me. So CAF's being moderated all the time. And I think, it was Alex Johnson, who's also a moderator, he pointed out a thread on CGC about where people were saying that CAF isn't moderated really well anymore. And, it couldn't be further from the truth. But it tied into, they were using, they weren't picking out a specific piece by any one person, any one nude or anything. But the funny thing was that my moderators were actually debating that Armando Huerta piece that you just caught a snippet of, where it's a nude. It's not, but the thing is, they're topless and bottomless, and it was locked up as it should be. And, I won't say which of the moderators. Most of the moderators said it should be removed. The problem is it doesn't cross the boundary of needing to be removed. Huerta is a collected artist on the site, and at the end of the day, it didn't meet any of the, I guess, vulgar criteria that we would normally have on there. I didn't get a chance to chime in and tell them I wasn't going to remove it, even though many of them did. It's kind of tough every once in a while. No to dongs. Well, no, it's not dongs, Marcus. It's when they're erect that they can't be on the site. That's clearly specified in the kind of the outline for what's permissible and what isn't, and what can be locked down or not. But that imagery is not allowed on calf. It's an easy one to say it has to go, whereas other things can't, like the Huerta. Even though the figure was topless and bottomless, it didn't meet the criteria to have it be removed. And some of the argument was, well, it's not comic artwork. Well, again, we allow illustration artwork to be on calf, so it is it's a pinup, it's illustration, and so it's allowed, and it didn't meet any nude criteria to take it. Right, one in Playboy versus Penthouse, one is art and the other is porn. It's still tough when you look at Playboy versus Penthouse illustrations. There are differences, but the things that we have written to kind of define what means what artwork should be removed from calf is very explicit. And so anybody that wanted to read that could, but at any rate, it didn't meet the explicit criteria to have it be removed. So I left it on there. But the thread on CGC was all about how calf isn't moderated, and they were pointing out, they actually were more pointing out there was an artist using the site. I can't even remember what they were posting. It was somebody who I'd never even taken notice of before. Their last name was Johnston, maybe Jay Johnston, I can't recall, and had been on the site for a long time. Just posted maybe over a dozen years, about 150 images. So clearly somebody who didn't update their calf very often, but their artwork was not very good. You couldn't even call it fan art. It was to that level. So the thing is on so on CGC they're saying, that calf's just a wallowing in bad art and and pornography and whatnot. And it's unmoderated. But the thing was, as soon as I saw that, because I've been kicking artists off the site left and right, whenever I see that. So even with regards to this person who'd been using the site for over 10 years, I emailed them, that day, which is like Tuesday or maybe it was Monday, and I told them, I said, you got a week to, if you want to get any of your images off of calf, I'm giving you a week, and then I'm closing your calf gallery, because calf's not for fan artists, and it never has been. And so I know that sometimes, calf being a big site like that, people think that we're not paying attention or we're not moderating. Sometimes we just need to be told when something's being posted that, really shouldn't be there, because, I want the site to stay collector focused, and or professional artist focused. Red Bull comment says, I got in trouble for drawing a Playboy centerfold in school. My mom defended my art. God love her. Well, and you didn't get kicked out of school. That's good. But anyway, so back to, so I just want everybody to know that we do moderate calf, that the moderators are indeed always perusing calf and letting me know, even if the moderators don't know that they're active and engaged, they actually are. So the moderation that we put in place 18 months ago is still intact, still working all the time, and still trying to make calf a happy, healthy place for original art collectors and artists as well. But yeah, anecdotally, I just wanted everybody to know that we do still look into those things. And if you see something you don't feel is appropriate, we don't have a report function, that where if you're not a moderator, we don't make it easy, but you can always use the site support form. If you see something that you don't think should be on calf, feel free to email me through the support form. I'm happy to look into it for anybody. And, and yeah, just like what Ron said, he's not a prude, nothing wrong with nudity. Common sense will tell you what is tasteless. Exactly. So, but the thing is, even the moderators and I can't see everything. So if somebody sees something like that, feel free to shoot me an email. If I put a report button on every site, I'd have people telling me when somebody is collecting art they don't think is good and all that kind of stuff. So they wouldn't be applying the rules that the moderators follow to what we want reported on. So, because it was suggested, why don't you put a report this artwork kind of link on everybody's artwork? I'm not going to do that, but it's there for the moderators, but not for just everybody. So, but yeah, never, if you feel something that is offensive, hit me with an email. I'm happy to look into it and take care of it for you. And I know, like Chris just said, CGC forum should not dictate how anyone behaves. And well, it's just when they're wrong, that's the part that gets me. It's when they, when people say things that just are flat out not true. It's, I don't know. I'm not frustrated about it. I just don't like, I don't like people who lie, who just state things to talk, to pontificate. That's the stuff that gets me. But they, in that they actually pointed out somebody who rightfully needed to get removed from CAF. So I don't hate on them. I just don't like it when things are said that aren't really accurate. Whether it's about CAF or it's about doing dealers or whatever. Cherry Pop-Tart comics are really great. They are right, and just like Ron said earlier, there's a difference between things that are tasteless or offensive or things that aren't, and Cherry Pop-Tart in general is not. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. But that's kind of how I actually sort of falling down that CGC hole was related to a conversation over there about moderation on CAF and those sorts of things. I just wanted everybody to know that we are always actively engaged with CAF in that way to try to make sure that CAF stays fun and enjoyable for everybody. Robert Crumb, I mean, right. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, but the thing is, I'll be honest, if Robert Crumb artwork crossed the line of the definitions that we have, I would almost say that, yeah, in some cases you might have to remove a Crumb, unfortunately, excuse me. But it's time for that beer. I believe it is midnight here now in the Eastern time zone. So I'm going to leave you guys all with that. But I wanted everybody to know Johnny McCloskey is one of those moderators who's always on things. And Johnny, from your email, Miko Swayan. Hey, Miko. Hey, sorry for your loss, my friend. But thank you for everything you guys have done. I love Next Comic Art and everything that you do for your buddy Jiggy. But Johnny's one of the moderators who is always out there kind of finding things for me, and he's a trooper. He probably moderates better than anybody else that's out there. So Chris Nork, you're correct. I will be moving on to an IPA, just one, because I can only drink one without getting a headache. But thank you everybody for tuning in today. I think we're off until next week, but so enjoy your weekend. Mikhail says I should see the Picasso Museum in Madrid. All right. I guess they need some moderation there, but I would love to see the Picasso Museum in Madrid. CGC has a bunch of keyboard warriors. I know it. The moderators are looking at this, shutting Snork down. All right, everybody. As Nick just said, have a great night, everybody. Be sure to tune into the EXP tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. I told Nick a couple weeks ago I got to be on that show again, and Nick. It might take till September at this point, but I do want to be on your show again. I love hanging out with you. So let's get me moved to Florida, and then I'll be on your show immediately. So good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again soon. Enjoy.